the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yes, I'm Saturday! Good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to the start of the long weekend, I guess, or the end of the long weekend. Whatever it is, it's a beautiful day, and we're calling it Family Day, and it's our family edition of your Feel Good Breakfast show. So happy Easter for the past weekend. Happy chocolate recovery. Happy Family Day and all the days that we get to celebrate this past weekend. But today, we're celebrating it with you and rounding things up on all the magic that's happened. Now, we're all about activating zero stress this morning. So we are going to be joined by life coach Kirsty Malmid to teach us the ways to calm our anxieties and bring peace to our days. Now, we're going to carry on with the Zen state and add to that with fitness trainer Lauren Vandenberg, who is going to take us through a yoga session. So move those coffee tables, get into comfortable clothing, and join us in reducing our stress. And if you're sitting with leftovers from the Easter weekend, some of you might. I know some of you had a great weekend and finished it all. Well, we've got the perfect recipes for you to use those leftovers for chicken, fish, and hot cross buns. Yeah, everything coming at you this morning, and it's time to have some fun. I know a lot of you might still be in bed, but that's okay. The TV's on, so you still got a good job ahead of you. But someone who's ready to say good morning to your beautiful faces. Let's check in with G.
Oh, look at your beautiful face, man. I love that opening of the show. There's a wolf somewhere in Alaska. Like, what? Hey? But it's true, man. It's time to get out of bed. Thank you so much for joining us. Mi familia. You are our family on Family Day, and we are yours. So if you're feeling a little bit lonely after this weekend, fear not. We have got you, and we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning. In fact, bucket loads of fun. We got you for 3 hours, but we need to know what went down over the last few days. Everyone hopefully had something special, whether it was family, friends, something on your own, something to make a memory, and we want to know what that is. So please share what you got up to this Easter weekend. We want videos, we want pictures, we want to see all of the fun. If you got up to an Easter egg hunt, we would love to see it. I got to spend time with my gorgeous little niece for her first Easter with the family. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm hoping that all of you had that opportunity to connect with the people you care about the most, because that's ultimately what Family Day is all about. So we will help you survive Family Day, yes, with a little bit of psychology and a few life hacks. But let's find out from our man, dude, as a young free gent, what did you get up to over the Easter weekend?
Hey man, it was an absolutely beautiful weekend. I had a wedding which was celebrated in the forest, so it was proper nature boy style. It wasn't my wedding, it was a friend's, and then after that I got to see a lot of my family from all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, you name it. So it was absolute magic to it. Lots of memory-making stuff, and yeah, I'm just thriving on all that right now. The energy's still feeling good.
Also trying to recover the odd memory or two, which is fun. That's how weddings work. That's why we love them. Keep sharing your Easter plans with us, what you got up to. Share some of those celebrations. We'd love to revel in those for at least one more day. Yes, because we're taking it super chilled today. It's all about family, and we're your family for the next 3 hours. So don't move a muscle. Let's get into some of those news headlines, and I'll touch on the sport.
Nice stuff. Of course, it's time to kick off with official duties. Let's get the show on the road, and starting on national news headlines first. Now, the Facebook rapist and murderer, Thabo Bester, his girlfriend, Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, and Mozambican national Zachariah Alberto have been moved to Tanzanian authorities to a maximum security prison in the region. Now, they were arrested in Arusha, Tanzania, and Bester has been on the run from the SA judicial system since May of last year. Now, he'd been serving sentences for murder and rape in Manguang in the Free State, from where he escaped. Now, an SA delegation will meet with their counterparts in Tanzania today to escort the three back to the country. Well, sticking to national news headlines, the Director of Accountability, now Advocate Paul Hoffman, says there's no will on the part of the SA authorities to have the Gupta brothers extradited to South Africa. Now, this after the news of the late that the United Arab Emirates had refused the government's request to extradite Atul and Rajesh Gupta to SA. Now, Hoffman said the chances were extremely slim that the Gupta brothers would be sent back to SA to face criminal charges. Now, the Guptas and some of their business associates are involved in fraud and corruption related to state capture. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. Now, a vessel from some 400 people on board is adrift between Malta and Libya and is taking on water. Now, support service alarm phone reported late last night amid a sharp rise of migrant boats crossing the Mediterranean from North Africa. Now, the boat had departed from Tobruk in Libya on Saturday night. An alarm phone said people on board were panicking and several require medical attention. Now, the vessel's lower deck was filled with water, and the captain had absconded with no one left to steer the boat. While sticking to international news headlines, Iranian authorities have begun installing cameras in public places to identify unveiled women. Now, women seen not covering their hair would receive a warning text message as the consequences, and this being said by police. And this would help prevent resistance against the hijab law and was also added to prevent protests. Now, protests were sparked last year by the death in police custody of Masha Amina, a young Kurdish woman arrested for allegedly violating the hijab rule. Now, since Miss Amina's death, a growing number of women have been discarding their veils, particularly in large cities, despite the risk of arrest. Well, in our final news update and something of an inspiring note, a recycling initiative centered on community development and a clean environment has been launched in Makanda in the Eastern Cape. Now, recycled plastic bottles are used to build houses for the less fortunate, and the idea came from philanthropist Trevor Davies in 2017 after seeing the deplorable living conditions of the Kuwati family in the Nkanani informal settlement. Now, he said they were presently looking at expanding the initiative to benefit other residents. And Davids also comes through with a quote saying, "This particular house was a learning curve. We could probably build a plastic house with all the advantages of insulation, but at very much the cost of some of the shacks that have gone up around here." A family spokesperson, Sivuyile Kewuti, says the house is much safer. And he said when it rains, a mud house becomes very humid inside, whereas the plastic bottle house is much like a brick house. Now, Kewuti also added, it's far better to live in the kind of house than in a mud house. And let me add, it does look beautiful indeed too. Well, on that note, I leave you with the rest of the headlines. Here's the G-Man with the latest when it comes to sport. And oh, what an exciting action we've got for you.
Now, Raul, tell me how you really feel about the football this weekend. Let's hit that nerve right now. In fact, what a weekend and what a run-in in the Premier League. Roberto Firmino's late equaliser saw Arsenal's lead at the top of the Premier League table now cut to just 6 points after an incident-packed encounter with Liverpool at Anfield. Never really disappoints. So the Gunners raced into a 2-0 lead with goals from Martinelli and Jesus before Salah pulled one back before half-time. Then notably, the Egyptian missing a penalty before Firmino does what he does at Anfield, and he netted the level with 3 minutes left in extra time. The Man City are now just 6 points off of the top. That's after their 4-1 win over Southampton, in which Erling Haaland scored twice. And Frank Lampard's second stint in charge of Chelsea got off to a losing start, unfortunately. That was a loss away to Wolves. And then that chase for that European spot, Spurs and Brighton locked horns. And, of course, Spurs coming out 2-1 on top. Then on to rugby, not the best weekend. The South African Challenge in the inaugural season of playing in the top European competitions came to an end on Saturday when the Sharks, Stormers and Lions all lost in the quarterfinals of their respective series. So the two coastal sides came up short in the Champions Cup, with Stade Toulouse running out 54-20 winners against the Sharks. The late floodgates opening there, I think, flattering Francais. And then the Stormers, they were beaten 42-17 by a clinical Exeter Chiefs side in England. The best of Northern Hemisphere rugby, really. In the last match of the day, the Glasgow Warriors, they had to work pretty hard for their 31-21 Challenge Cup quarter-final victory over the Lions in Scotland. And then we turn to cricket that is burning up at the moment. Rahul Tripathi scored 74 not outs and captain Aiden Markram 37 not outs to lead the Sunrisers Hyderabad to a comfortable 8-wicket victory with 3 overs to spare against the Punjab Kings. So SRH were chasing 144 for victory. Doesn't seem like a lot after 99 not out from Shikhar Dhawan propelled the Kings to 143 for 9. Markram and Tripathi shared in a 100-run stand to see their team over the line. And elsewhere, Rinku Singh hit 5 sixes off the last 5 balls to lead the Kolkata Knight Riders to a thrilling 3-wicket win over the Gujarat Titans, chasing 205 and needing 29 from the last over. Yes, 29. Rinku produced a brutal onslaught on bowler Yash Dayal. I doubt that we've seen that in the IPL as yet. Then, speaking of brutal, let's turn to the UFC. Israel Adesanya reclaimed his middleweight title from long-time bitter rival Alex Pereira with a spectacular knockout at UFC 287 in Miami. Must be said in front of Donald Trump. So with his back up against the cage in round 2, Adesanya, now 33 years old, unleashed 2 crushing right hands to send Pereira, now 35, to the canvas and followed up with a hammer fist to seal the deal. That victory avenges 3 previous defeats for Adesanya against Pereira, as controversial as some of them have been. Of course, he lost twice in kickboxing in 2016, 2017, and then, of course, at UFC 281 in November. And now it looks like Pereira's moving up to light heavyweight. But most notably this weekend, Israel Adesanya, albeit he couldn't remember or pronounce his name, he did call out to Drickus. We'll watch that space very closely, but that's where we leave our sport this morning. Let's see what your weather looks like on Family Day.
Thank you so much, Tia, now for our first look at the weather this morning and starting off with weather news. Now, this morning we have a wonderful, encouraging item of environmental news to share with you. Yes, indeed. Now, the Ocean Cleanup, the only organization currently tackling the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, otherwise known as the GPGP, has just reached a milestone of 200,000 kilograms of plastic removed from the ocean. As mind-boggling as it is the truth. Now, the Dutch non-profit organization completed the test run of its new system 002/B, which can capture multiple tons of garbage in one sequence with its large booms. Now, the GPGP, which is twice the size of Texas, is not so much an island as it is an area where major currents and winds have brought together trillions of pieces of plastic. Now, Bojan Slat, the CEO and founder of Ocean Cleanup, believes he can clean the whole patch in just a decade by using the data of the currents and the winds. Now, Slat's work in the GPGP will go down as one of the greatest accomplishments of the 21st century. Oh, beautiful and exciting stuff indeed. But now there's time to go from our weather news to check out those incredible views that you all send in. And starting off with Faith Lean in George, showcasing this dusky shot. I mean, she's up bright and early, getting ready for a spectacular day out and a hike. I love it. Adrian in Boksburg comes through next and shared a dazzling view, looking up at the sky, embracing the day off. And wow, what a bright, beautiful start to your day. I hope you have a magic one. Janelle in Glen Hills captured a moment from her balcony. I mean, just look at this view, from soft tangerine hues to a fresh breeze, ticking all the boxes. And last up, we've got Joe in Amanzimtoti, who snapped up a view overlooking the ocean and sun peeking through the clouds. And it is just the magic we've asked for. Thank you so much, Mzansi, for sending those incredible pictures in, and keep it coming this morning. 063-408-8863 is the number. We'd love to see how you start your day wherever you are in the country. And speaking of temperatures and starting your day, let's take a look at those just now. Starting off in Polokwane, the day starting at a low of 13 up to a high of 26 degrees. Rain can be expected. Much the same for Mbombela. The rainfall continues from 17 up to 30 degrees. Pretoria, much the same, 12 up to 22. And Johannesburg, the rain continues with some thunder too. 9 is your low, up to a high of 20 degrees Celsius. Moving over to Mahikeng now, where the day starts at a low of 8 up to 24. Rainfall can be expected, and much the same for Klerksdorp. 6 is your low, up to a high of 24 degrees. Wet conditions indeed. Kimberley, not much rain on your side of the world. 3 up to a high of 21 degrees. Bloemfontein carrying on with the chilly conditions from 1 degree all the way up to 23 degrees Celsius. Around the coast now and over to Richards Bay. Oh, sorry, I forgot Bloemfontein for you out there. Starting off at a chilly 1 degree up to 23, so apologies for that. But carrying on around the coast now, over to Richards Bay, 19 is yellow, up to a high of 26 degrees with the rain continuing. Pietermaritzburg, much the same, 13 up to 22. Durban continues with the raining conditions, 18 up to 24 degrees. Mthatha sees the day starting at 8 up to 23, and the wet conditions definitely do continue. Around the coast and carrying on now to East London, 13 is yellow, up to a high of 23 degrees. No rain expected. Cradock, much the same, a chilly start of 3 degrees up to 22. GQ Berga sees today starting at 13 up to 20 with rainfall expected. And George, the rain continues from 11 up to a high of 18 degrees Celsius. Around the coast now and over to the mother city in Cape Town. The rain continues from 13 up to a high of 18 degrees. Worcester sees a chilly start of 5 up to 20. Sutherland 0 degrees to start the day. A chilly one, in fact, all the way up to only 14 for your max, and much the same for Uppington. 6 is your low, up to a high of 24 degrees. Again, Mzansi, thank you for sending those incredible pictures in. And yes, please keep it coming, because we'd love to see how you start your day.
Thank you, Shawnee. Good morning, son. All the big guys behind camera keeping us running. Then the big guys in front of camera. If you thought that we woke up looking this gorgeous every day, no. We have Bernice. We have a pocket-sized Bernice there to greet us. And I have to apologize, Bern, because you're the first person who sees me every single morning without any of that on. Roy, busy week, busy long weekend. Anything shock you? Does anything shock you anymore?
I don't know if it does. Extraditions is what we're talking today, and non-extraditions.
I was going to say all the lack thereof, and we will find out. We will try to decode all of the news headlines that affect you most. 063-408-8863. If anything is pushing your button this morning, we want to hear about it. We'll see you now. Oh, that's very romantic.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, it is indeed the long weekend. And in fact, I hope you're still in bed right now. Today is family day, and for many of us, it's a little bit of a hangover from complete chocolate overload and maybe a little other things along the way. But the public holidays haven't stopped the flow of news. And our news editor, Roy Simpson, is back with us to take us behind the headlines. And as always, we'd love to have you join in on that discussion. In fact, it's the most important part. So please share your thoughts, your opinions, your insights on 063-408-8863. Help us decode these crazy headlines. Like, for instance, a press conference on Good Friday.
On Good Friday.
Must mean something massive is going to happen. And then what happened? Did anything actually happen?
Well, in a way, bad things happened. Yeah, we got the notification as a country that the Gupta brothers, are not going to be extradited from the United Arab Emirates. And we kind of thought that was a done deal.
Yeah.
Because we'd specially set up an extradition treaty with them in some haste some time back. And man, apparently this happened all the way back on February the 13th, that they had their extradition hearing. We don't know when the ruling was made, because sort of diplomatic channels haven't been communicating what's been happening in the UAE to our own Department of, it's not Foreign Affairs, it's International Relations. So DIRCO wasn't informed of these things. until Thursday. That's why the press conference on Friday, they were just told on Thursday, oh,
By the
BT
way,
Dubs, you're not getting those guys.
Do we know what went wrong or what could have gone wrong? What's the presiding opinion now?
Well, the justification, at least what Durko is saying, although apparently this isn't reflected in the UAE's own judicial statement on this, we're told that the ruling was that the money laundering charges that they face, they can be prosecuted for those in the United Arab Emirates, and therefore there's no need to extradite them. So that's the logic we've been given.
Great, then follow through. But does that imply that they will follow through with the case against them in the UAE, or are we just... Watch the hand, watch the hand, watch the hand.
No, it's very much that. In fact,
oh, goodness.
Part of why Durko was asking what was going on and pushing for information is that, once again, newspaper reports have been coming out saying they've been spotted in Switzerland, shopping around in, Bern, places like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, also that we believe that they've applied for positions, citizenship in Cameroon and places like that. So this is why we were asking the questions, because they've been seen outside of the UAE. And I'm afraid it's not looking good for extradition.
Well, what's the next step? From a South African perspective, I mean, surely we've got enough legal grounds to push this as far as we can. Is there or do we just have to wait for the international community to decide that it's time for them to be punished?
No, well, yes, it becomes an international issue. But the strength of those extradition treaties is important. So, for example, Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandi getting caught in Tanzania, we're pretty certain they're going to be extradited here. With the United Arab Emirates, it's not a democracy. So our expectations of a judicial process are wrong.
Yeah, we need to move the
setup
goalposts.
Yes, that setup is different.
Okay.
And we can ask again, we can appeal that decision, but we believe that the Guptas are no longer there, but we can appeal the decision, and we can go to Interpol and ask for another red notice, in which case they would theoretically be arrested somewhere else.
Again,
but yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment, and I don't know what it says diplomatically about our relationship with the UAE, in as much as we weren't even informed about this.
By some margin as well, and quite a serious case for, if you think about the South African story at the moment, it's pretty well known that this is a kind of a watershed moment for us. What do you discern out of that? How do you feel about the Guptas? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. 0634088863. Now, I thought the whole plan was for us to be able to generate electricity and sell it back to the municipality, but I think I'm absolutely wrong. We'll find out more about that in just a moment.
Oh, in just a moment indeed, but with all the stress of the news that just came through, I think we can tune into something a little bit calmer, yeah? Yeah. Yes, Mzansi, of course, it's time to de-stress. From traffic jams to endless emails, everybody's stress is, or stresses. I mean, I'm even stressed right now, just dealing with this topic. But it can really pile up, and sometimes all you want to do is just escape to a moment of smooth sailing. Yeah, that's what it's about. So let me do just that. Let me just get into the mood right now. All right, I can get used to this. That's how we could do this morning, right? And that's, of course, with that zero feeling too. So here to give us the tips and tricks on how to achieve zero stress, we've got life coach Kirsty Malmed in the building. Kirsty, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Was it a stressful weekend for you or a good one?
It was not. It was very relaxing, nice and chilled.
Well played, well played. Well, let's get straight into it. Let's just talk about stress. Why and what are some of the common causes that are bringing on stress in our lives, and how can we identify it firstly? Let's get into that.
Yeah, so, I mean, really anything can be stressful.
Okay.
Like everything can be stressful.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I think what would be helpful is to understand how you specifically react to stress, because we're all different. So for some of us, you might start getting headaches. For some of you, you might start kind of spinning out and getting a bit defensive with people.
Yeah,
you know, other people might begin to get very fatigued and tired. Like, we all react differently. So get to know, what does stress feel like in your body and in your mind, and what does not being stressed feel like, so you can compare the two.
Okay, so understand that firstly before you can even make a proper identification. So with regards to the fact that now we know maybe what stress is, once we've identified it, what are some of the sort of like things that we can do to prevent that? I mean, are things like self-care a part of this? Does it have any place in reducing stress, or are there other mechanisms we should use?
For sure. So I think you can practice self-care once you are already feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it gives you the space to move your body from that stressed and activated state into a calm, rest and digest is what we call it, space where you can process and...
Rest and digest. I
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it's
I
to
like
do with
that.
the nervous system. It's going
Okay.
from like fight and flight to rest and digest, where you
Nice.
recover physically from the stressful event.
Okay.
So any kind of self-care, like, you know, having time out, going on a hike, practicing yoga, meditating, journaling, talking to someone you trust, anything like that is going to help you move into that kind of calm state.
Okay. I'm liking this conversation because I can imagine a lot of people this weekend, as incredible as the weekend was, it always presents like a lot of chaos and planning and organizing, and it can become very stressful when you're doing so much. How do we learn to maybe, in certain situations where it becomes, let's say, overwhelming for us, how do we learn to kind of say no or set those boundaries in place to essentially, at the end of the day, reduce the stress we're facing in our personal lives?
Yeah, so boundaries, I know it's a word that some people are like, I don't know how to set boundaries.
I know
don't
the
how
word
to say
means, but how do I
no."
use it? What is it?
Exactly. And it's really about, again, having that self-awareness and
Yeah.
knowing what is your capacity. What can you handle? So when you know what stress feels like in your body, how much of that are you able to take on? And when it starts to get too much, when it starts to get overwhelming, being very direct and honest with people and saying, I don't have capacity for that, but I wish you luck.
I like
you
that.
know, no, I can't help you with that. Or maybe I can help you with that, but not right now.
Yeah.
Because we also live in a very immediate world where it's
Oh,
like
instant gratification is all we crave.
Exactly.
And
And it's okay to take time.
At the same time, I think saying no also, it gives you some power too. Like,
It does.
just try it out and you'll see, as hard as it might seem, because we all just want to yes man and please people.
Well, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to upset you. I don't want to let you down. But actually, you're letting yourself down. So
Oh,
you got to find a balance
mic
there.
drop right there. I love that one. Look, before you go, I want to just squeeze some more valuable golden gems from you. Maybe from Mzansi too. I think this is something we can be practical about. How can we sort of stay healthy? How can we cope with stress? And what sort of mechanisms can we use to, let's say, enforce more of a positive mind state in our lives? I think going forward into this week, everybody's going to say yes to more of that. So how can we actually practically implement that?
So I think taking a whole self approach is what I call it, where you look at not just the physical aspects, although those are really the most important, and things like, you know, exercise, looking
Yeah.
at your diet, making sure you're not drinking too much caffeine, getting enough sleep, you know, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
basics. But then also practicing mental self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care. So doing things like putting down boundaries and saying no, having open and honest conversations with loved ones, you know, going to therapy or seeing a coach or talking to a mentor, you know, things that help you sort things out in your mind so that you then know how you want to behave as a result of that.
Yeah.
Spiritual self-care, you know, praying, meditating, connecting with whatever it is that means something to you, going outside and being in nature. These are all things that can help you reduce your stress and set up your lifestyle to not be so stressful, find more balance.
And all things that don't generally necessarily cost too much money either. A lot of these options you mentioned are absolutely free. So
Exactly.
the options there, it's waiting for us. All you got to do is do it. Simple as that.
That's the thing. Make the choice, do the thing.
Okay, Steve, thank you so much for sharing and imparting your wisdom with us. And I hope you have a beautiful end to this long weekend. You woke up early this morning. That was the first challenge. Well done.
Thanks.
For you, Mzansi, if you are ready to, and if have been inspired to, obviously, take on life with zero stress. So you can put those tips and tricks into action and start living the smooth life. I mean, honestly, it's all about that zero feeling, and I'm definitely getting mine. I like that. I might be sipping this all day. Yeah. Now come join me, get zeroed up, and remember, all 3 flavors of the new Tropica Island in a bottle are now available in stores. So look out for the black label and black cap. I'm gonna do some more of that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks, Kirsty. That was smooth.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's the Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are back with our look at the major news stories and how they affect us with our news editor, Roy Simpson. And he, yes, helps us decode, but we need your input as well. So join in on the discussion and share your thoughts. WhatsApp line is open, 063-408-8863. Now, like everyone in Mzansi, our focus during this time is often on electrical issues. And Eskom is in a court battle right now to try to stop a private company from supplying electricity to the municipality. Also, it seems there is something, surely there has to be something else at play here, because I thought that was the plan, was to help boost Eskom's potential, not usurp them at a municipal level.
Absolutely. A very interesting story. And I think quite an important one. I think the court case might actually be seminal and set precedent.
It's a bit of a watershed,
really important. So we're in the Free State.
Okay.
We're in around the town of Frankfurt. We're in a municipality called the Mafube municipality.
Hi from Mufube, if anyone's watching this morning.
And obviously, like the rest of the nation, they have had electricity issues ongoing for a long time. They solved theirs. This private company stepped up and said, look, we've got the funds to build this solar farm. And it's a reasonably decent-sized solar farm. They're producing a fair amount of electricity on it. But what they are there for is to step in when the national grid won't supply power to this town. And they signed a 25-year deal with the municipality. But where it starts getting complicated and where we start getting into the issues of the court case is that it's called downstream from Eskom.
Which makes sense,
So
yeah.
Eskom has control over here, the municipality is over here, and they're situated here. So what's in fact happened is they've taken over
The
control.
switch has moved.
The switch has moved. They've literally, with Eskom's no permission and all, they control when load shedding happens, rather than Eskom setting the agenda. And now there's a fight because Eskom is saying to them that that's not acceptable, that they can't control the grid. They can supply power.
To it, but Eskom still must retain
But Eskom wants to, yes.
that oversight. Why is this such an important moment, do you think, for whichever direction this goes? Because it could be interesting either way, and I'm sure it's not going to be in a stasis. It's going to keep evolving, the story, I would imagine. But what is the precedent here that you are seeing possibly coming out now?
Well, the original idea, the one that was sold to us, certainly in the states of the nation, and I say multiple states of the nation because it kept coming up until it finally happened, is that Eskom was going to be broken up into these 3 units. And one of the units would be in charge of the grid. It would be the distribution unit. And the understanding we were given was that that was sacrosanct, that the actual end product of supplying electricity to homes, that would be could be farmed out. Generating electricity, that could be farmed out. But the grid had to be controlled. And Eskom's going into this court bid, saying that that is really, really important, that is critical, because if you've got too many people fiddling with the grid, that's when you could get national blackout. Because there's this weird thing where there's a particular frequency, a number of hertz, that needs to be maintained on the grid. And that's quite a finicky process. So, for example, if there was a blackout and the whole grid went down, it would apparently take about a week. This was under the director explaining to us to get everything back up to that frequency. So Eskom, the problem with Eskom is every time they face one of these challenges, they tend to be alarmist. Everything is Armageddon. Everything's going to destroy them. So they've kind of undermined themselves for this court case, but they're going in saying you can't take control of the grid away from us because that's what everything depends on. So man, either way, if they lose the case, if Eskom loses the case, then we're looking at some kind of privatized
I was gonna
entire
say, the
electricity infrastructure.
The old Wild West. I have a feeling
Yeah.
there's going to be prospectors coming out. You're looking for electricity wherever they can find it. I'm telling you, this is watershed, and I don't think for all the wrong reasons. The fact that we are going through this gateway has to be a good thing, because this is the direction we're going to need to move. We're going to need to figure out how to do this.
Absolutely.
It does beg the question, though, how much autonomy individual municipalities and the people running these municipalities have to be able to set up 25-year deals with energy suppliers at this particular stage of our electricity narrative. But we'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you live in that municipality. How often do you actually have load shedding? We would love to hear from you. There is so much on the go. We're going to continue our chat and cast an international gaze in just a moment. And I'd love to have a quick look at this. If you take a look at this particular story breaking right now. Okay, so this is on the N4, just west of Solomon Mahlangu in Pretoria. The N4 now completely closed both directions. Pylons collapsing. Obviously, Roy isn't on the scene to be able to break it down for us. But live high voltage wires on the ground right now. It sounds like 3 trucks were involved in that collision. Undoubtedly an unsafe area. So that's on the N4 as you head into Pretoria. Please just avoid. There will be massive backups, but if you're anywhere in the area, have any footage or photos, please update us. Please share with us. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to continue with our news chat in just a moment.
Just a moment indeed, but for now though, let's shift our focus. Let's bring the Zen back in. Now the focus this morning has been on de-stressing and learning ways to cope with stress. Now one of the best things physically that you can do is something that involves de-stressing, and that's yoga. Now yoga encourages mental and physical relaxation, which helps reduce stress and anxiety. Now focusing on the present moment during your yoga practice enhances your awareness, boosts your concentration, and centers your mind. Now, here to take us through some of these movements is the one and only fitness trainer, Lauren Vandenberg, in the building. Lauren, how are we doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic, and I think with that, I can invite Mzansi to take their shoes off as well and join you for the session.
Please,
All right, so let me do just that, and it's time to find your inner peace. Mzansi, Lauren, I'll hand it over to you. What are we doing?
Okay, brilliant. So this morning we're going to do a sunrise flow.
Sunrise flow, nice.
Yes,
all
so
right.
let's head to the top of the mat.
Okay.
Okay, take a deep breath in, and hands up, hands together. Exhale all the way down. And deep breath in, halfway flat back. And exhale, forward fold, hands on the mat. Deep breath in, step it back into your plank. Nice, hold your plank. And down to your chaturanga. And upward facing dog. And curl the toes, hold it there for 3, 2, and 1. Curl the toes back under, down dog. Nice, hold your down dog for 5, 4, deep breaths, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, we're going to step it forward. Back in between our hands and come up halfway, flat back, and exhale, forward fold. Deep breath in all the way up, hands together, and bring it in. Nice. Okay. We're gonna do that 2 more times.
You can even see I've got a little bit of a tear in my eye from this. It's getting so emotional. But literally, the minute we started moving, I had a chance to connect with my body.
Love that.
Just kind of like check in with it. I think this is also an opportunity to have that dialogue for the day.
Exactly.
Loving this.
Talk to your body helps you. You don't know how much your body actually helps you during the day.
Yeah.
Especially when our muscles are tight, when we're working out, stretching, breathing, very important.
So essentially learning this flow is something we can put on repeat and kind of just bring us further and further to our center, right?
Yes, so
love
just
that.
you keep going, you do this flow. It's a sunrise flow, meaning you're waking up with your body.
Beautiful. Shall we carry on the other side?
Let's go.
Right, Zanzi, you can join us right now. Of course, break those shoes off, come de-stress, move the coffee table, and enjoy finding your center right now. And you can follow along for this one. Let's get straight into it.
Okay, deep breath in, up. And exhale down. Deep breath in, halfway. flat back. And exhale down, hands on the mat. Step it back into your plank. All the way down, chaturanga. Up dog, uncurl the toes, hold it there. Nice. 2 and 1, curl the toes back. And down dog. Nice, hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's walk towards our hands. Nice. Come up halfway. Forward fold. And release all the way up. Hands together towards the chest.
I can definitely assure you that nothing's going to stress you now after that, Lauren. Thank you so much. That was
No
absolutely
problem.
enlightening, and we will be lucky enough to have another session in just a bit. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. I can't thank you enough, Lauren, and stick around. We'll carry on finding our center. It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush, 100% goodness.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
tracking all of the headlines are breaking as we move into the brand new week, and we are back looking at some of those major stories that affect us globally and here in South Africa. And Roy Simpson has been helping us unpack all of them, and please, you can join the discussion and share your thoughts and your opinions. Yes, this is a safe place, 063-408-8863. Now, as we had mentioned a little bit earlier, some of our big stories are happening across our borders, but they do still affect us. Now, Al Jazeera recently published a series of very provocative investigative pieces titled Gold Mafia. A few of you listening now, that exposes a money laundering network that allegedly uses smuggled Zimbabwean gold to run the operation, and not a small amount of gold, as I understand it. So unpack this one for us. Explain why this has become such a big story in our little neighbor.
Well, because it involves so much, because it's such a complex network. Effectively, what's happening here is Zim dollars are being washed into legitimate US dollars. But it's a complicated process to get there. We're going to have to just have a caveat that allegedly applies to everything that we're saying.
This is an open case at the moment.
Absolutely. This is investigative journalism. The I team from AJ have uncovered this and unpacked it. So what is happening is there are these gold mines, which are illicit gold mines. More importantly, there are sanctions on a number of generals, army generals, and high-ranking politicians in Zimbabwe. These people have control of these mines, in some cases quite directly. There are allegations that there are generals who own shares in companies that own mines that aren't necessarily on the up and up. But the point being, there's this gold being mined that can't be sold legitimately because of these sanctions. So this is a sanctions-busting thing. And that's where it starts to get really complicated, because, of course, the people who are doing this... And they're running it through Dubai, so they're running it through the UAE as just an aside. So the gold gets taken in, like attaché cases, by someone holding a diplomatic passport for Zimbabwe, doesn't get checked that side, gets sold on the open market that side, the dollars come in, and then someone this side, allegedly for gold leaf tobacco, is issuing false invoices for massive purchases of tobacco, and so the dollars come back in and then they get distributed around. That's the allegation. So it's a money laundering scheme, and of course when you're talking sanctions busting, suddenly you've got the Russians involved and sanctions busting there. So these people at the center of this network are really deeply connected to legitimate power and to the underworld as well.
And to South African banks, perhaps?
Yes, so...
Is there a South African connection or overlap?
There is a specific one. The claim is that Standard Bank, Sasfin, and ABSA are all involved, but not as institutions. No, and not as institutions. Look, Standard Bank's got its skeletons in the closet. It was involved in manipulating the price of precious metals and the price of the rand. But these are individuals in these banks who are being bribed, just outright. They're getting money put into their account, and they're fiddling some of this money through different accounts so that it's difficult to trace.
Terrifying, because it's obviously one of our border nations, and we have to assume that this is just the tip of the iceberg. So we will watch this space very closely. I've got to ask, though, seeing as electricity has been a common thread this morning in whatever weird way, Tesla...
Yes.
Naughty IT department. What is going on there? Why are people up in arms at this kind of guiding light when it comes to electrical progression?
Well, it's one individual at this stage in California. His name, I think, is Huey Year. And he's started a case which could become a class action case. And this is what it's all about, is that the IT guys at Tesla HQ, apparently, there are these onboard cameras inside Tesla cars. Now, apparently, that feed goes to HQ and gets stored there, and these guys have access to the footage from inside the car. Now, the court case is talking all about, like, when the car's parked, you can see people doing their laundry, and you can see people's children, which, of course, is a major thing.
For sure.
But I think it's also about people doing naughty things inside their car. Cars have always had that little cachet of, you know, it's a private space. But these IT guys have been sharing this video footage. So it's a complete invasion of privacy. And I think it's going to become a class action suit. I think everyone who has ever sat in a Tesla is going to join in.
For sure.
So, yeah, this could go places, but it speaks to a bigger thing about who controls the information that is centralized in any scenario. So you know, if we drift into that space where China's in, where you have this ubiquitous surveillance, CCTV cameras anywhere, who has access to that? And then when you add things like AI,
who controls it?
Who controls it, and what information could you deduct from who's moving where? So this is a really important case. It's going to be very interesting.
Adulterous husbands, you be sweating. You be sweating right now. So many watershed moments presenting themselves right now. Thank you for helping us unpack and understand how we fit into the grand scheme of things. You can show Roy some love in the real world. If you see him, he loves hugs. He absolutely loves hugs. We say thank you so much for joining us on Family Day. You are part of Mi Familia, our family. So thank you for sharing that with us. And please keep your opinions coming if anything is affecting you here in South Africa, especially 0634088863. Drop us a voice note.
Hey man, we all love hugs, we all love some good stuff, and we all love heading to the kitchen, and that's what we're going to do right now. Now, most of us have been stuck with tons of leftovers after a big Easter lunch, and in the efforts to minimize food wastage, we're going to give you ideas on how you can repurpose some of those Easter favorites. Now, you got any leftover chicken? Or why not make the classic chicken mayo in under 30 minutes? As simple as that. And Jenny Morris is here to take us through this delicious leftover chicken mayo sandwich recipe. Jennifer, how are we doing?
I'm good.
I was going to ask you how your buns, but those aren't buns.
They're not
We're
buns, my
using some
buns. You're my
thick
bun.
cut, good bread for this one.
Well, and I've cheated.
Why did you cheat? What have you done now?
I've been to Woolies. No,
What did you get from
I
that?
love
You did get
I love this.
Because we didn't have any leftover chicken because everybody ate it, right? So we were naughty and we got some fresh ones
but
from Woolies.
You know what? I mean, as a single woman, I can clap a whole butter-basted chicken from Woolies.
I
They're
can't
lovely.
blame you. They make
they're
it good.
gorgeous.
But listen, as we have mentioned to you, this is obviously to remind you that if you have leftover chicken, you can use in this recipe. We've been a bit naughty and used fresh chicken, but same, all kind of works. Jenny, how are we doing this one?
Well, what we're going to do is, I know that you're a breast man,
Yeah.
and I like breast as well, so I want to do a little challenge with you.
Yeah.
We're going to put everything in here. I'm going to, these beautiful ciabatta slices, I'm going to brown them.
Okay.
And I'm starting before you come chop.
Well, what are we having a chop off?
You can have a chop off. You can chop, you can chop, or you can pull.
Never try to beat you because I'll probably just cut my fingers. So I've got to exercise caution first.
Don't cut. Look, it's all in
Oh,
there.
it was never even a challenge when you're going up against Jenny Morris. Come on.
You said 30 minutes. We can do this in
But
5.
more like 30 seconds by this pace. I'm loving it. All right.
That
But what we've
goes
done is essentially we've cubed the chicken. We've got lettuce in there. What else was that?
That's our beautiful chicken.
Okay.
Now you're going to put your onion and your
right.
sriracha. You're going to put some mayonnaise.
Yum.
Not all of this, okay? A bit of salt
Not all
and
the
pepper,
pepper,
and certainly
okay.
not all of the salt. I'm going to do the salt because I don't trust you.
You don't trust me. Oh,
I don't
after
trust
all
you.
these beautiful moments we've had in the kitchen, but it's fine.
I'm now
I do
going to give
not
you a
blame
little
you.
hint and a tip, my child.
Oh yeah.
So I'll put a little bit of oil into the pan. Now I'm going to add my butter because the butter is going to enrich this, and the oil prevents the butter from burning.
Ah,
So,
okay.
And as you know, I'm Betty Butterlegs. I absolutely love butter.
Betty, what was that? Betty butter steak?
Betty
Butterlegs. Betty cookies?
Never, no.
It's not Betty's chicken sandwiches.
You lost me. Am I making you one as well?
Yes, please.
See, what
and
I love about this, everything is in.
everything works as well. Like literally, as these flavors come together, I'm getting that like sort of tanginess from the sriracha.
Delicious.
The mayo's giving it the creaminess. I haven't even tasted it, but I can feel the flavors already.
Now, you could serve this as a lovely big open sandwich.
Yeah.
Or
Ooh.
you could do
all
that.
right,
So this
I like
is your
that.
one.
Like a rustic folded sandwich
My
vibe.
fingers are so delicious.
Yeah. When you're making ingredients
Look
like
at this. No, that's yours. Put
Oh,
it
is that
on your
mine? Wow,
plate.
thank you very much. I hope G doesn't see this because he's going to be quite upset.
So you see how easy it is. You don't need leftovers. Just take yourself off
Yeah.
to Woolly and get one of those lovely succulent chickens.
Yo, leftovers or not, it doesn't matter. Make sure you're making this today because honestly, it looks good, it smells good, and I'm about to dive into it and have a little taste, and I'm pretty sure it's going to taste good too. And this was 30 minutes apparently? That was like
Rubbish.
30 seconds. It's easier than 30 minutes. Let me try a little taste of this because, oh,
It's a
how
little
can
bit
we
hot,
resist?
but it's
Oh, it's
delicious.
hot. The bread is just done to perfection. Well played on that.
You like? Oh no, chicken's still so moist and succulent. I love it.
Am I actually working right now? Oh, that is good.
Works for me.
Honestly, Mzansi, get involved in this, expresso.com for this recipe and get inspired. Those leftovers now have a place in the world. Enjoy. Oh, that's good.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Let's inject a little bit of that long weekend back into this long weekend. Hailing from Cape Town as a band of four with the coolest name ever, Face Jackson. They have been noted for their incredible energy. We've had just a little taste and I can get that vibe. And they bring that and more to every performance. It's even said that Face Jackson's infectious energy can make dancers of the dead. Okay, we will try this morning. There's a few people I'm sure feeling like that this morning. Can we give a very feel-good warm welcome to Face Jackson? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, man, you've had us buzzing all morning, Jimmy. Ricardo, guys, welcome to it. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
I think, Jimmy, maybe let me start with you, my brother. Thank you for the early start. I'm sure you've been gigging all weekend. This must have been torturous coming here, so I feel it. Buddy, the coolest name in the world has been taken, Face Jackson. Who's the face, okay, and who's the Jackson? How did you guys come up with the name?
The name, it actually, to make a very long story short, it was a nickname we gave to a friend, and we actually, that name sort of just stuck with us in our jokes and that, like months afterwards, kind of took on his own persona. He became his own man, and yeah, now...
So what you're trying to say is, I could be Face Jackson. He could be the unmanned, unnamed member of the crew.
It was so catchy that we were like, hey, let's make a band name from it. So it's like a joke.
It's awesome. It really does. No, it is so cool, and it clicks, and we absolutely love it. So, Big Mr. Reggae is out from your EP. Tell us a bit more about this. I mean, the inspiration seems pretty simple, man. But give us a bit of your vibe here. What goes into a track like this?
Well, the running narrative is that we're just a band of jokes. It actually, Joss and I at my old roommate's house, we just got together one day and we came up with this basic, simple concept of what could be a reggae track, and we made jokes about how one day it would be on TV, and look at that. Look at that.
You're doing it. We are so grateful that you're here. You guys sound amazing, and it's been a while since we've had a little reggae on this stage, man. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you for bringing your vibe and your energy. And we are going to be seeing these boys do what they do in just a moment. I almost cancelled the news for you. I was this close, this close. But we're going to get into some news and sporting headlines. Then Face Jackson is here to perform just for you.
Yes, of course, it is Family Day. We're going to dive into all of that magic right now. But before we do, official duties must commence. It's just about to go on the hour, and it's time to start off with national news headlines. Now, the Anglican Archbishop of Cape Town, Reverend Thabo Makgoba, says South Africans are experiencing a near-biblical vortex of greed and corruption in which the unscrupulous steal from the poor and swallow the hope of ending inequality. Now, he says accountability is lacking among the country's leadership, and he was delivering his Easter message during a vigil at St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town. Now, Makgoba said young people should take up a new struggle to end economic inequality and to realize the promise of SA's constitution. Well, carrying on with our local headlines, the Facebook rapist and murderer Thabo Bester, his girlfriend Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, as well as Mozambican national Zachariah Alberto, have been moved by Tanzanian authorities to a maximum security prison in the region. Now, they were arrested in Arusha, Tanzania, and Bester has been on the run from the SA judicial system since May of last year. Now, he'd been serving sentences for murder and rape in Manguwang in the Free State, from where he escaped. And the SA delegation will meet with their counterparts in Tanzania today to escort the three back to the country. Well, from our national news headlines, it's time to look at international news and over to China, who has simulated a precision strike against key targets on Taiwan and its surrounding waters during a second day of military drills. Now, the drills, which Beijing has called a stern warning to the self-governing island, are a response to Taiwan's president visiting the U.S. last week. Now, as the Chinese military simulated an encirclement of the island, the U.S. urged China to show restraint. Now, Taiwan said some 70 Chinese aircraft flew around the island yesterday, and 11 Chinese warships were also spotted. Taiwanese officials are enraged by the operation. Sticking to international headlines, a vessel from some 400 people on board is adrift between Malta and Libya and is taking on water. Our support service alarm phone reported late last night amid a sharp rise of migrant boats crossing the Mediterranean from North Africa. Now, the boat had departed from Tobruk in Libya on Saturday night, and alarm phone said people on board were panicking and several require medical attention. Now, the vessel's lower deck was filled with water and the captain had absconded with no one left to steer the boat. Well, maybe we can change the mood of this morning's headlines. And next up, a family pooch named Bo came up with incredible acrobatic antics in order to be included in a family portrait. Now, this when a London family gathered to celebrate their dad's 70th birthday, and the pooch was determined to not be left out. Now, despite being outside a sliding glass door, she leaped into the air the very moment the shutter opened, enshrining her antiques for all time in one of the best pictures one will ever see. Now, Tamsin Cowman, who had brought Bo along when she attended the family celebration, and she led her out into the garden while the family gathered inside to take pictures of the 70-year-old and his grandchildren. And it wasn't until later that Tamsin saw the hilarious image of a determined Bo jumping enthusiastically into the frame through the window in the background. Now, sighing and smiling, all Tamsin had to say was that Bo probably wondered why the family was having a cuddle without her. Well, we won't do any of the headlines without you now, and it's time to head on to the rest of it and just G-Man with the latest when it comes to sport.
Thank you so much, Raul. I'm sure mixed feelings about this one. Son Roberto Firmino's late equaliser saw Arsenal's lead at the top of the Premier League table cut to just 6 points. That was after an incident-packed encounter with Liverpool at Anfield. So the Gunners showed their form raced into a 2-0 lead with goals from Martinelli and Jesus before Salah pulled one back for half-time. The Egyptian then notably missed a penalty before Firmino netted that leveller with 3 minutes left on the overtime clock. So Man City are now just 6 points off the top, and that was after their 4-1 win demolition, in fact, of Southampton, in which Erling Haaland scored twice. I think he's on 30 goals in the Premier League now this season. Frank Lampard's second stint in charge of Chelsea got off to a losing start as well, away to Wolves, while Spurs, they edged out Brighton 2-1 in their chase for a European spot. Then on to rugby. The South African challenge in the inaugural season of playing in the top European competitions came to an end on Saturday when the Sharks, Stormers and Lions all lost out in the quarterfinals of their respective series. So the two coastal sides came up short in the Champions Cup, with Stade Toulouse running out 54-20 winners against the Sharks. I think that scoreline really flattering Toulouse. Then the Stormers were beaten 42-17 by a clinical Exeter Chiefs side in England. Then in the last match of the day, the Glasgow Warriors had to work hard for their 31-21 Challenge Cup quarter-final victory over the Lions in Scotland. Much improved performance from the Lions, it must be said. Then we move on to cricket. Rahul Tripathi scored 74 not out, and captain Aidan Markram 37 not out to lead the Sunrisers Hyderabad to a comfortable 8-wicket victory with 3 overs to spare up against the Punjab Kings. So SRH were chasing 144 for victory after 99 not out from Shikhar Dhawan propelled the Kings to 143 for 9. Markram and Tripathi sharing in a 100-run stand to see their team over the line. And elsewhere, Rinko Singh hit 5 sixes off the last 5 balls to lead the Kolkata Knight Riders to a thrilling 3-wicket win over the Gujarat Titans. So chasing 205, massive total, and needing 29 from that last over, Rinko did it. He produced a brutal onslaught on bowler Yash Dayal. I'd be interested to know if that's happened before. Now, speaking of brutal, we round off at the UFC. Israel Adesanya, he has reclaimed his middleweight title from longtime Bittle rival Alex Pereira with a spectacular knockout at UFC 287 in Miami. So with his back against the cage in round 2, possibly playing possum, Adesanya, now 33 years old, unleashed 2 crushing right hands to send Pereira, who's now 35, to the canvas. Of course, sealed it with a hammer fist on the ground. That victory now avenges 3 previous defeats for Adesanya against Pereira. Yes, as controversial as they've been. He lost twice in kickboxing in 2016 and 2017, and at UFC in 281 in November. Now, it's most notable that despite him not being able to remember Dricus's name, it looked like he was definitely calling the South African out for a possible fight, which we are here to see any day. But that's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Of course, the roads should be waking up if you're one of the few who is working and living in service today. Let's get you to work safely.
Thank you so much, G. Yes, it's time to take a look at the roads this morning. Now, if you are in the Pretoria area, there's been a multi-truck accident on the N4 route. Now, this between Simon Vermooten as well as Solomon Mahlangu Drive. Now, there are also, as you heard in our reports earlier, live high-voltage electrical wires on the road here. Now, the road has been closed, so please use an alternative route and stay safe on the roads. And anybody planning any route this morning, buckle up, stay safe, and please do plan accordingly. From now, it's time to head from the road to the sky and see what's happening the latest when it comes to weather. Taking a look at the weather this morning and starting off with weather news. Now, a desalination plant project is in order, and that's to enable the Transnet National Ports Authority to minimize dependency on external parties to provide water to the Port of East London system, and this is in the pipeline. Now, the Ports Authority is looking to appoint a qualified service provider to design, construct, operate, and maintain a 0.5 megaliter per day seawater desalination plant in the port. Now, this as part of the efforts to ensure the consistent availability of fresh water supply to the port, also while minimizing dependency on external parties to provide fresh water. Now, East London Port Manager Spiwe Mtembu said as the port aimed to attract vessels in the need of bunkering, minor repairs and water-to-ship transfer, this project had become of utmost importance. Now, Ports Authority plans to issue a request for proposals for the Nelson Mandela Bay ports later this month as well. Well, from our weather news, we head over to those sunrise views once again. And for this 7 o'clock edition, we've got Margaret in Kenville, who shows off a glowing sky with pretty pinks and purple. I mean, what more could you honestly ask for? I love this shot. Pastels are beautiful indeed. Next up, we've got Marcus in Johannesburg on his balcony, and he showcased streaks of clouds in the sky, enjoying this Monday morning and the promise that it brings. And what a beautiful promise indeed. Next up on our list, Brian was out on the water and shared a view on the Atlantic Ocean. And I mean, look at this, stunning orange tones waking him up in the morning. I'm just loving this calming feeling that this picture's providing too. Brian, thank you so much. And last up, we have Jonathan in Chatsworth, staying at a hotel. Very nice. Woke up and he just had to share this view, and I can see why. It's so beautiful. A perfect morning, Jonathan. Beautiful stuff indeed. And to you, Mzansi, thank you so much for sending those beautiful pictures in 063-408-8863. Keep it coming. Keep letting us see how you start your day on this beautiful family day. And let's dive straight into those temperatures once again. Now, starting off in Polokwane, your day starts at a low of 13 up to a high of 26 degrees. You can expect some rainfall in your area, and much the same for Mbombela. Wet conditions from 17 up to 30 degrees. Pretoria, much the same. The wetness continues, 12 up to 22. And Johannesburg brings more rain from a low of 9 up to a high of 20 degrees Celsius. Moving over to Mahikeng now. The day starting at a low of 8 up to 24 degrees. The rainfall continues. Much the same for Klerksdorp. Lots of rain expected from 6 up to 24 for your high. Kimberley starts a day at a chilly 3 degrees up to a high of 25. And Bloemfontein, the chill continues at 1 degree to start the day up to a high of 23 degrees Celsius. Moving around the coast now and over to Richards Bay, the rain continues from 19 up to a high of 26 degrees. Pietermaritzburg sees the day starting at 13 up to 22 with the rain continuing, and much the same for Durban, wet conditions from 18 up to 24, and Mthatha carrying on with the rain from 8 up to 23 degrees for your max. Around the coast now, I'm carrying on to East London, where the day starts at a low of 13 up to 23 degrees. Cradock sees no rainfall, but a chilly start of 3 degrees up to 22. In GQ Gqeberha, we see the day starting at 13 up to 20, with high winds expected in your side of the world. In George, the day starting at 11 up to 18, and rain can be expected in your side of town. Over in the mother city now, the rain seems to be continuing from 13 up to 18 degrees. Worcester sees a chilly start of 5 up to 20. Sutherland, the chilliest start of the day, 0 degrees, icy, all the way up to 14. But last and not least, Uppington, always coming through from a chilly 6 degrees up to 24 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, I can't thank you enough for sending those absolutely incredible pictures in. I absolutely love it.
We love our animals in our lives. Raul, come here. I need your explanation of something. So you need to set the scene for us, because we found another photo of a photobombing dog. This is Harkin showing us his best side, dude.
So you heard the story we were talking about with Bo and how you wanted to be a part of the family picture. So I've got my own Bo. That's Harkin over there. We've got family from literally all over the world. We've got Europe, Canada, Australia, and then some other locals here in the mix. So these are all my cousins from my mom's side. And obviously someone was feeling left out. And he was like, oh no, I got to be a part of the picture. So Harkin comes through and just stole everyone's heart. But a beautiful memory nonetheless. And this is what the weekend was about.
You know what? In honor of this, in honor of you, Harkin, we're going to celebrate with the performance. I'm going off now.
All right, let's do it.
To connect with the boys.
Worthy of it. Absolutely love. How cute is he though, right? I know.
So yes, Face Jackson are here. So the name of the band might be a joke, okay? The song might have been a bit of a joke, how it came together, but the performance, it ain't no joke. It's beautiful. We have been treated to a sound check and we are buzzed. Look, I'm getting goosebumps and you haven't even started yet. But this is me, okay? I need you guys to get up on your feet and really feel this long weekend. It's time for Big Mr. Reggae. Take it away.
Don't know
it to me, man. Woo! Hey, there was something disruptive underneath that. There was an undercurrent there. Boys, that was amazing. It's not a competition, dude. Slow down, man. Slow down. That was beautiful, boys. Thank you so much. You just take it all off, buddy. If you want to do it, just do it, man.
It's hard to get
It's your stage now. You just dominate it and own the stage. Show them some love. Hitting them up on the social medias. All of our social medias will have their details. Support vocals from the locals when they are this good. You guys are amazing, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Reggae, indeed.
I feel like...
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Family Day edition, and here to serve you. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, it's time to talk about something that some of you love to talk about, some of you hate to even mention, right? Money, 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 money. Yes, and it's another round of Our Money Matters. Now, today we're asking you if it's more risky to lend money to friends or family, so let's unpack the question on the table. Now, G-Man, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, for me, man, I've had to lend and I've had to borrow from close family in the tightest of times. So I'm like, if you need my help, I'm there. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's an individual case scenario.
All right, so let's just refer to Mzansi quickly and just remind them of the question. Do you think it's riskier to lend money to a family member or a friend? Oh, now this can get very interesting. I know, especially when it just comes to lending money in general, it is a risky thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you don't necessarily want to do unless you know it's going to help the person, right? You don't want to be taken advantage of.
Hey, listen, it's all relative, I suppose, to where you are in your situation and what a lot of money constitutes for you.
That's true. What is a lot of money to
this is the thing. So I think if you're lending money to a family member or to a friend, the size of that amount, okay, being considered, I would not lend money. I would give money to a family member or a friend unless it's a sizable chunk that needs to be paid back. And it's as simple as that. But I'm sorry, when you're in your time of need, who do you go to? The people closest to you, and that works both ways. So I'm like, I'm there to help in whatever way I can, and it comes without judgment. I think the judgment comes in when a person lends you money but then wants to tell you how to use that money or how they might feel that it's well within their rights to be able to do that. But it's that in itself opens up so many questions. Why? Because it's a family member or it's a friend.
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
so true.
it's such a two-edged sword, man.
I agree with you 100%, and I mean, it does depend on the situation you're in, but ideally when it comes to family, you just want to help, like, regardless of it being any reason. You just want to be like, well, you come into your family, I'm here for you. For friends, it's a little bit different, though. Friends, I'll face my friends.
I'll show you how to make the money. I'll show you how to make the money.
But of course, if you lend money to someone, the other question is this: do you set a date for when you want the money back, or you just say, Shame, you can pay me when you can, which could be weeks, years?
I mean, I suppose it's in the essence, if you need that money back by a certain time, then make that a part of the condition.
I think that's true. If it is putting you on, like, dude, I need this money because I've got bills to pay, then you need to obviously set that date. But don't put yourself out at the detriment of, like, trying to help somebody else. I think that's also quite important, because then you've got two bad situations.
And this, look, I'm old, so I've had friends for a long time, so we're like family. So I think it kind of gets to a point where you can talk about these things in a very realistic way, but you need to get to that point. Interesting, man.
Interesting indeed. Now, the questions continue. Now, here's another one for you, a little conundrum, if you wish. Now, if someone is not paying you back after months of begging, would you write them off or get your money back at all costs?
You see, again, because it's friends, they'll just slap you in the face and say, dude, this is where I'm at, or this is what it's at. And family members, hopefully you can talk to each other very cogently and clearly about what you need.
I've literally got friends, though, like right now, people that are so close to me that you'd even be surprised about, that owe me money. And it's just like, I don't even know what to do, to the point I'm like, it's just disrespectful to me that you don't even want to, like, acknowledge it or address it. So, like, in my world, you out my life. I'm not even going to beg. I'm cutting you out. It's like gangrene in the foot. You got to just cut it out, rather, and just enjoy your life. Go on with it. You know?
I have a feeling, and this is the danger, when it comes to family and friends, there is always going to be a point where money is going to trigger something.
Oh, yeah.
Undoubtedly, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mzansi, I loved this conversation. I don't know what you thought about it, but next time a friend or family member asks you for money, just tell them that if they qualify and take out a personal loan with Nedbank and open a savvy account, they could get up to 200 Rand cash back every month for the duration of their loan. Now, that way, they get the help they need, and you get to keep your sanity. Now, for all the details, tell your friends and family to visit nedbank.co.za, and hey, maybe we don't have to involve all this lending anymore.
Don't even have to have the conversation.
Sorted.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
So now we turn our attention to the boss queen, Nikki Bush, who's on the couch to offer some advice on how women should approach their finances.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast show, and this morning we are talking finances, but financial planning for women 101 with human potential expert, speaker and author Nikki Bush. Now, although financial planning is a topic for everyone, we are looking at a particular group of people and giving them tips to empower themselves. Nikki, this is an important topic. I mean, coming from a home where my mom was a stay-at-home mom and my dad was the one dealing with the finances, I feel like I'm at the back foot when it comes to seeing a woman model being responsible with her own finances. What is it about this topic that hits home for you?
Zoe, it is so important because our financial planning is linked to our choice freedom as women. So if you want more choices, you need to take charge of your finances. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and this conversation is not financial advice. But I have some hard-won lessons that I have learnt really since I became a widow, a sole breadwinner, and a single mum, and took on the financial planning responsibility, because so often when we are the second salary, we don't take financial planning seriously. And I do coach upwardly mobile women, and often women who are promoted into leadership roles. And I often have this throwaway line when they leave me, and I say, so tell me about your financial plan. And they look at me and they say, but that's my partner's department, or that's my husband's department. And ladies, this is not a strategy. We need to be paying our future selves by having a financial plan for ourselves. So yes, you might have a family financial plan, but you also need to make sure that you are putting money away for yourself, and not just the leftover money, predetermined amounts of money.
Now, when you've put the spotlight on, you know, mobilely upwards women, and when they get promoted, they don't have that financial plan in place, where can they start when they now realize, hang on, I'm the person Nikki Bush is talking about, where do I begin?
Well, I'll tell you where I began. I decided that I needed to have an initial goal after my husband died, and that was if you have tax-free savings, there are lots of tax-free savings vehicles where you can put away, I think it's 36,000 Rand a year tax-free.
Yes.
Start there. And it is so easy to do. Ask a few questions. Really get yourself a financial advisor, though. I can honestly attest to that. Having somebody who will walk this journey with you, who will help you plan how you're going to save, how you're going to invest, how you're going to build up enough money to retire one day. That's paying your future self. And so that's where I started. So it's 2,700 Rand a month. And the trap that women often fall into, because we're so selfless, because of generations of conditioning to give ourselves to everybody else, including our money, is that we tend to only put aside what's left over at the end of the month. And that often lands up being nothing.
Yeah. Or you make excuses. You don't like, oh, this month was a bit tough. I had to pay this, this, and this next month. You keep making these promises to yourself.
And investing in yourself means investing every month, not every now and then, because you are worthy.
Now, this is where the question comes in. Debit order versus putting money away yourself. What would you?
The discipline of the debit order is what my financial advisor has taught me. And the incredible thing is, when it becomes a debit order arrangement, you earn enough to cover it. Just like you pay your electricity bill and your bond and things like that, because you have an expectation. And the discipline of the debit order is a mindset, and it's a commitment to self, a commitment to investing in you every single month, not with what's left over, but before what's left over.
Yes.
Because leftover often never happens.
That's true. Well, Nikki, thank you for joining us today. Of course, we're going to continue this conversation because it is a really important one, because we're putting the spotlight on women, and especially looking after themselves. Stay tuned. Nikki Bush will be with us. We'll see you right now.
Fall into a beautiful night's rest. Stand a chance of winning a double bed from the bed shop to the value of 5,000 Rand. To enter, comment on the competition post on the Clover Crush Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages, and tell us how winning this prize will help you unlock your 100%. Make sure you include the hashtag Crush in your answer. The competition closes on the 2nd of April at midnight. T's and C's apply.
You must be wondering how I got here, ne? Enjoying bomadi sushi, got the fork and knife over bubbles of sparkling water. But I didn't know the changes, Joe, because I chose Nedbank, the bank that gives you discount upon discount in this country. I'll call it a bank with benefits, eh? Yeah. Value guaranteed. Seriously? Seriously.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, and we are back on our couch with human potential expert, speaker, and author Nikki Bush. We are discussing putting women in the driver's seat of their own financial planning and financial future. It is a very important question, and this is also a very important conversation. Nikki, why is life better for women that have a financial plan in place?
When women have a financial plan, they are putting themselves center stage. They are not in the chorus as a supporting act. And many women fall into a trap, particularly if they're in a permanent relationship, of thinking they're playing second fiddle. And this is due to centuries of conditioning. You know, we carry with us all this old stuff. And we have to start investing in ourselves because we are our own best asset. And that means investing money in yourself, investing in your skills, your spirituality, your health, your body. All of those things are important because we're going to live a long time and we have to pay our future selves. And when women have a financial plan, they have more choice freedom. Choices come up. Do you want to give up a full-time job? Do you want to become an entrepreneur? If you've got a financial plan in place, you know your numbers. Maybe relationships are going to change in the future. Women who don't have a financial plan do not have choice freedom and often get stuck in relationships that are toxic. So there are just two examples.
Two of probably many examples. Now, Nikki, I'm guilty of this. Let's say you get a promotion or you earn a bigger salary. Then, of course, you go to the designer handbag, you spoil yourself with some new glasses. But I think you have something else you'd rather say.
Well, I do think that it is important that we do purchase the odd symbol of success, but let's not do so at the detriment of the financial planning. And I see many women who go out and buy the handbags, bigger houses, bigger cars, but they're not putting anything away for the future. And so the message is this: you need to buy the share, not the handbag, because when you are working for your money, you also need to have your money working for you in the background. And the longer your money works for you in stocks and shares and assets, the better you're going to retire, or you're going to have more options and choices in your life. So this is the message. We need to buy the share, not the handbag. By all means, buy the handbag if you can also afford the share.
Definitely.
But if it was a choice, you should go for a cheaper handbag and make sure you are putting that money into assets that are going to grow, because you only have so much time and so much energy. You need to get other things working for you.
You definitely need that. Now, Nikki, what is it about women that feel we get uncomfortable when we talk finances? What is it about our upbringing, potentially, or our psyche around that?
Well, we haven't been brought up or educated in money terminology. So financial terminology is scary. We feel stupid. We don't want to ask questions because we might be embarrassed. But actually, one of the best things you can do is ask a lot of questions, which is why I say go and find yourself a financial advisor who can answer those questions and ask them to speak English. And I've had to get over the fear of the terminology. And that's why I say buy the share, not the handbag. That's English.
Yes.
Somebody else can put that in very, very financial terms, which might put you off, but it is actually as simple as that. So don't feel stupid. Rather empower yourself by asking more questions and ask for help. People are out there. There's so many knowledgeable people out there.
Definitely. And for those who want to find out more about your approach to buy the share, not the handbag, where can they find that?
They can find a full and detailed blog on nikkibush.com.
Well, Nikki, you've definitely given a lot of women some insight as to how they can take and empower themselves. What does it say about a woman that has a financial plan in place and you know, is putting herself first? What does that say about her?
She's more centered, she's more grounded, she's holding her value, and she knows her worth. And I guess a really good line to end this interview off with is that you are worthy. So often women sit back and say, but I'm not worthy of this relationship, I'm not worthy of this job, I'm not worthy of investing in myself. Actually, you are, and it's shifting the narrative to say, I am worthy, and then you can commit to that discipline of the debit order and commit to buying the share, not the handbag.
Oh, well, Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, you are worthy. Now, those are some wise words from our human potential expert, speaker, and author, Nikki Bush, sharing some very keen insights with us. But for more information, visit nikkibush.com.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. You are worthy indeed. So let's see if we can help you buy those shares. On the topic of finance, let's make one lucky viewer 2,000 Rand richer. So there's a saying, and I certainly agree with this: children are angels sent from above to fill our hearts with love. There can be no truer statement. And Panado is giving you the chance to share some care with an angel in your life by nominating them for a dose of care, valued at 2,000 Rand, in this case, in cash. We love that. So we are very excited to announce our next winner. A massive congratulations to Michaela Mahabir. Congratulations, Michaela. And this came indirectly via Melanie Mahabir. And she commented on the post by saying this: I nominate my daughter, Michaela Mahabir. She has been through the worst, but is still standing strong and helping my husband and I find our feet after he lost his job. She is unwavering in her love and support for all those around her. She's going through a rough patch at work and could really use this money. Hashtag Panado SA, hashtag a dose of care, hashtag I get you, girl. We understand. And we've got both of these wonderful women on the line right now. Very good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, thank you so much for connecting with us. Melanie, let's start with you. Your daughter just sounds incredible. She seems like a wonderful young woman. Tell us a little bit more about her through your eyes.
Michaela's an independent young woman. She lives on her own, takes care of all her responsibilities, but still finds time to help in whatever way she can, not only just her immediate family, but the rest of the family, extended family, always giving her time, and not just her time, financially as well, putting her own needs aside. So in one word, selfless describes her.
I love that. And you know, there's only one place a daughter learns selflessness, hey? I just want you to think about that, Melanie. Michaela, I've got to ask you, first of all, congratulations on winning this morning. And what a cool way to win it, being nominated by someone you clearly care a lot about. I've got to ask you, because I think this is something you might have a good understanding of. What does a dose of care mean to you? As someone who seems to live in this vein of helping others, what does care mean to you?
So basically, care means obviously putting yourself in another person's situation, seeing where they're coming from, and obviously understanding their situation. I feel that is a level up when it comes to care. I feel like, you know, understanding someone is just a form of caring in itself, and then going over and beyond to assist someone, you know, where they actually need the help, because you put yourself in their situation and you're able to help them somehow through cash or kind or whatever the case may be. That is what care is.
Oh, you've hit the nail on the head. I absolutely love that and agree with you so completely. Your family is clearly a very important part of your life, and I can certainly get that as well. What do you love the most about this wonderful family around you, Michaela?
It's the fact that we are always supporting each other. And yes, we have our instances where we have our fights and our arguments and misunderstandings and everything. But at the end of the day, when someone needs each other, we are always there to support each other, no matter what. Yes, we will correct each other. Someone will get upset for that correction or whatever the case may be. But no matter what the case is, everyone will always be there for each other.
Basically, the Fast and the Furious. That's all you needed to
Yes.
say. The Fast and the Furious. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, you're amazing, Michaela. Melanie, thank you so much for nominating your wonderful daughter. Congratulations to both of you. Not that you need the money when there's that much love around, but a little bit of money goes a long way for everybody. So enjoy it. Spend it on
Thank you so
yourself,
much.
girl.
Thank you.
All you need is love. Enter our Panado A Dose of Care Easter competition and stand a chance of, yes, feeling the love and also winning a little bit of cash. And this is how you do it.
No child is going to pass up chocolate Easter eggs. But how do you do something just as sweet for grown-ups this Easter? By giving them a daily chance to win 2,000 Rand, courtesy of Panado. If you know somebody who could do with that, nominate them for a 2,000 Rand dose of care on the Expresso social media pages using hashtag PanadoSA and hashtag A Dose of Care. Competition runs from the 3rd of April to the 14th of April, and T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, carrying on all the celebrations. Of course, today is Family Day, but we're going to continue to help you de-stress this morning. And in case you missed it earlier, yoga is, of course, a great way to calm the body and the mind. And I know a lot of you might be coming from a very stressful situation this weekend, so why not incorporate the following? Now, we've got yoga poses, which may help you release physical blockages like muscle knots, helping release emotions as well as tension. Now, they also promote the release of mood-boosting endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones that can positively affect how you handle stress. So bring all those hormones on, and here to help us do exactly that, we've got fitness trainer Lauren Vandenberg in the building once again, and showing us how to find our calm through movement. Lauren, I loved what we did in that first session. Again, maybe this is the opportunity to tell Mzansi to take your shoes off for this session.
Yes,
find your grounding in your center, and I'll hand it over to the queen herself.
Thank you,
How are we
thank
doing
you.
this?
Okay, so we're gonna focus on heart and hip openings.
Okay, nice.
So open up the heart, open up the hips, and we'll just get to it. We'll show everyone first, and they can join straight after.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so let's just deep breath in, up, hands up, and exhale, down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, hands on the mat. Step that right foot back into your plank. Nice, down into your chaturanga. Down, upward facing dog. Uncurl the toes, and down dog. Put the hips back, nice, hold it there for 3, 2, and 1. What we're gonna do now is lift that right leg up into one-legged dog and step it forward. Okay. Now what we're going to do is sweep our hands all the way up. Hold it there. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Open it up into your warrior 2. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go down. You have 2 options here. Either put elbow on the knee, or if you're a little bit flexible, open it up all the way down to the ground. Nice. Hold it there. 2, and 1. Let's come back up into our warrior 2. Nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch our arms, twist. This hand goes here, and hands together. Nice. Hold it there. 2, and 1. Down, hands on the mat. Step it forward, and all the way up. Nice.
Right, I know we've only done one side, but I've got to say that was incredible, opening up parts of the body that I didn't even know existed. What exactly are we working on there when we're doing this flow? Because for me, I feel the hips opening up. I feel a good stretch in the legs.
Yes.
But there's so much going on, right?
There's a lot going on, actually. So what's happening is we're opening up our hearts, especially when we're in our warrior 2.
Yeah.
We're welcoming a lot of great energy as well. And when we're opening up the hips, there's a lot of tension in our hips.
Yes.
Especially for females, a lot of tension in our hips, and the tension that we don't expect and don't release. So we need to release.
It's almost like you hold these traumas in our muscles. The tension is all held there. And this is a great way to release that tension.
Exactly.
And emancipate yourself, right?
Exactly.
So Mzansi, let me invite you to emancipate yourself. Come free your soul, and let's do another flow. We're going to carry on with this right now. So take those shoes off and follow along and enjoy and breathe.
Nice. Okay, deep breath in, up. And exhale down. Up, flat back. And exhale, hands on the mat. Step that left foot back. Right foot back. Down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Uncurl the toes. Down dog. Hold it there for 2 and 1. Lift that left leg up and bring it all the way through your hands and sweep that arms up. Open up the chest. Nice. Hold it there. 2 and 1. Open up. Warrior 2. Nice. 3, 2, and down. All the way up. Keep that hand up.
All right, Mzansi, well, we do some incredible things with our body, and hopefully you're joining us too. We are finding our zero stress zone, and we are absolutely here for it. Invite all that positive energy into your life, into your day. And if you want to do more of this, then you can reach out to Lauren online, because she's here to serve you. And speaking of serving, it's time to serve that belly one more time, because we've definitely earned it.
Yep, 0 added stress today because it's family day. Bring yourself back from that relaxation brink before you tumble back into your bed and fall asleep again. Don't worry, we got you covered today. You don't even have to go out and buy new food, because if you've got leftovers from all the Easter celebrations this weekend, even if it's just a little bit, we've got a quick and easy recipe for you to try out this morning. And of course, Jenny Morris joins us in the kitchen to whip up some fish fried rice. I love it.
Fish fried rice. You know,
fish fried rice. I love the sound of this.
I'm almost going to make like an Asian kedgeree.
Okay, and kedgeree is a meng pot. What is a kedgeree?
It's like just rice and fish.
Rice and fish.
Yeah, but I'm going Asian.
I love the Asian flavors here, especially, and we've got a lovely, I think it looks like a nice smoked snook.
Yes, you could use snook, you could use, you're going to gag now.
Okay, do it, man.
Chili.
I'm ready. I need a bit of heat in my life. After the chill out from that yoga session with Lauren, we can spice up our lives. It's okay.
So what I'm doing here is chili, ginger, garlic. I'm going to whack the rice, and the minute you get that beautiful...
Oh, wow. So you're proper frying the rice. Okay. The acrid smoke, you've got to earn this meal.
No, it's a chili, doll. Look at that.
What kind of oil is this?
It's
That's
just ordinary.
sesame.
No, this will
Just
be ordinary
normal oil.
sunflower.
Okay.
Do have sesame oil though. Sesame
Oh,
oil
that's
is
what
going
I'm
to make
smelling
it
here.
fabulous.
Okay.
Well, you've got a very good nose.
Oh, but I love it. Is there nothing quite like if you want to add that Asian undertone, there is something about sesame oil that just lifts. And I know it's a little bit pricey, but it's worth it because a little goes a long way.
long way. Now, what I need from you is
Yes,
to
my
give
dear?
me some... I know you like the scissors.
I
I'll
do.
put the
I love
scissors
to-
there for you.
I absolutely, for chilies, for onions, for anything that gets in the eyes.
Have a look here, Graham. This is leftover rice. Okay.
Exactly. Well,
We've
everything
always
here is
got-
leftover,
Yeah,
hey?
it's beautiful. We've got peas in the freezer. Gonna just whack some little petit pois. These little baby ones.
Petit pois.
Oh, petit pois. These are the little baby peas. I love them. And just handle it gently. You don't want to smush your rice, okay? And of course, I'm going to put the fish in right at the end, and you'll notice I'm only now going to put the sesame oil in because it's for flavoring.
Okay, and you don't want to, I suppose it doesn't have a really high smoking point.
No.
You don't want to cook it,
To
have those
pieces,
fats
yes.
break down. How's
Love
that?
it. I want all of it.
Alice,
Asablis.
I can do it. I love it, and I suppose this is quite a good formula to follow if you like the Asian flavor base.
Yes.
These flavors combine so beautifully in so many different ways.
Look at that. Now, this is another little tip.
Okay.
So that you don't break your fish up and mush it. Just stick it on the side of the pan while the rice is heating through.
Okay.
And just give it a little toss.
Just to let those flavors kind of start
Add a
to
little bit more
sweet.
soy onto it on this side. Give me half of your spring onion, not all, because I want some for...
Take
You're
as
selling
many
you
as...
short. What about
I
that?
know, man, but it's the ugly little bits.
It's not ugly. It's full of flavor, you little wasteful.
No one,
Don't
nothing
throw
gets
that.
wasted, dog. We won't throw anything away.
There we have a look.
And that's, again, with the Asian vibes, it's having that balance, hey, salty, sweet, a little bit of sour,
a bit of heat,
a bit of heat, a bit of fresh to balance out the cooked. You've got to have that, constantly striving
And
for
look
that
what
balance.
Mama's got for you. I'm gonna feed you, boy. Look at that.
Amazing.
And I mean, this goes such a long way, and it's economical, and you waste not, want not.
And I know we're calling this a leftover meal, but I mean, we say that loosely
so
because we
good.
know that there aren't many leftovers after
No,
Easter weekend,
no.
judging by how much I took on over this weekend. No, but I'm doing the same thing with lamb. I'm going to do like a lamb ragu kind of thing with this beautiful leg of lamb that my mom cooked for us, which was amazing. Thank you, Mom. You're absolutely amazing.
You're a good mommy.
Right. That looks
Pop some of that over the
phenomenal.
top.
Because you do need a little pop of fresh.
You can add coriander to this if you want to.
If you were just
You can
silly.
add some mushrooms to this, but I mean, just have a look at that.
Yeah, I think for a meat-free option, the mushrooms, because you've got the good, healthy
And there's a bit more
vegetable
smoky
proteins
fish
with the
for you,
pea in
doll.
there. Oh, that looks good. I'm going to try and get a little bit of
Everything.
the dark meat, a bit of
Yes.
smokiness.
And a bit of rice, a few peas and soy. If you want to, at this point, you can add more soy sauce to a scattering of sesame seeds. You can sexy it up any way you like.
And twice as much chili. I would throw
Oh,
in the
that chili
Yeah.
clapped me.
It's got you right in the
Really
nose, in the olfactory senses. Wow. And what I love about Asian food is often you'll have 3 or 4 landing points. You have your initial like, wow.
Yes.
And then you'll start to get the undercurrents.
Absolutely.
And when the heat kind of rises, you've got the sesame seed oil to just temper it there.
It
Beautiful.
does. And for me, the best thing is, as much as Asian food has a lot of chili and heat, I want that burn, the initial burn. But you know what? I just want it to linger. I don't want to like...
Yeah, it must inform the flavor and the experience, but not
Exactly.
completely overtake.
Yep.
Well, I can feel my head is starting to glow just a little bit. If you go to expressoshow.com, you can get forehead glow, just like me. Now, this meal is amazing. If you've got any leftovers post-Easter weekend, this is how you need to use them. That's very good.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Sweet. Yes, Mzansi, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're back on your screens with the absolutely talented four-piece band, Face Jackson. Pew, 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 pew. That's what's up, man. They are serving all the energy we came for. But I want to find out about this because I cannot figure it out for myself, Joss, one of the incredible members of the band. Dude, how do you explain the sound coming from your persons, you people? How are you creating the sound? What is it? And what on earth is even inspiring this? Because this is fresh, it's new. It's something that just like, I tried my utmost best to just stand still. And I couldn't. My body just, it wanted to move, man. I wanted to dance. What's going on here?
Well, obviously, I think we're inspired by the artists we love.
Yeah.
Like Chili Peppers, Sublime, Rage Against the Machine. But I think like we all just work really well together, and music is just an expression. So I think what we express with each other is just what makes the sound. It's our personality. And that's it.
And you can feel that there's some genuineness in that, there's some rawness in that, and that I think is what makes you guys so unique. You look and seem like you're brothers that just go back since day one. You can do anything together, and it's gonna be an absolute memory and a joy, and I think that's what your music represents as well. So we're gonna get a little taste of that in just a bit, Mzansi. I cannot wait. I know you can't either, but first, official duties must commence, and of course, the G-Man standing by with the latest. We'll be back, don't worry, we'll be back.
Thank you so much, Royal. Cannot wait to see the boys in action in just a moment. It is almost the top of the hour, almost 1 minute to, so bringing you your national news headlines just a minute early. But let's start here in South Africa, where the SA Post Office, or SAPO, says it will issue a statement next week, following reports that it's been put under liquidation by insolvency practitioners, Carp Vol Trust. So the SAPO, which has just received a 2.4 billion rand bailout from the government, says it's been dealing with this matter for a while now. Carp Vol Trust is one of several entities that has previously tried to approach the courts in an attempt to place the SAPO under liquidation. And SAPO has been battling to pay some of its creditors, obviously. Now we stay in South Africa, where the Anglican Archbishop of Cape Town, Reverend Thabo Makgoba, says South Africans are experiencing a near-biblical vortex of greed and corruption, in which the unscrupulous steal from the poor and swallow the hope of ending inequality. Firm words. And he says accountability is lacking among the country's leadership. He was delivering his Easter message during a vigil at St. George's Cathedral in the Mother City. Makgoba said young people should take up a new struggle to end economic inequality and to realize the promise of South Africa's constitution. Now we cast a wider gaze, not too far from our own borders, as Rwandan President Paul Kagame has sent a stern warning to 1994 genocide denialists. He was speaking during the commemoration of the genocide, in which at least 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus were massacred in Rwanda in a matter of days. Kagame says the resurgence of hate speech must never be tolerated again. The country is still reeling from the horrors of almost 3 decades ago. Kagame also launched a scathing attack on the international community for failing to assist in halting the genocide in 1994 in his country. Now moving to a potential situation happening right now. China has simulated precision strikes against key targets on Taiwan and its surrounding waters during a second day of military drills. The drills, which Beijing has called a stern warning to the self-governing island, are a response to Taiwan's president visiting the US last week. As the Chinese military simulated an encirclement of the island, the US urged China to show restraint. Taiwan said some 70 Chinese aircraft flew around the island yesterday. 11 Chinese warships were also spotted in the area. Taiwanese officials are enraged by the operation. Now let's temper our news with a very uplifting story and something that hopefully could become a guiding light. So a recycling initiative centered on community development and a clean environment has combined all of that and launched in Makanda in the Eastern Cape. So recycled plastic bottles are being used to build houses for the less fortunate. The idea came from philanthropist Trevor Davies back in 2017 after seeing the deplorable living conditions of the Kibuti family in the Nkanini informal settlement. And he said they were presently looking at expanding the initiative to benefit other residents now. Davies said, we quote, "This particular house was a learning curve. We could probably build a plastic house with all the advantages of insulation, etc., at very much the cost of the same shacks that have gone up around here." What a formula. So family spokesperson Sibuyile Kewuti says the house is much safer. He said when it rains, a mud house becomes very humid inside, whereas the plastic bottle house is much like a brick house. Kewuti added again, a quote, "It's far better to live in this kind of house than in a mud house." Simple words, and hopefully we'll see more people being able to tap into that. But that is where we leave our news headlines for now. Let's touch on the sport. Someone, I'm sure, pretty excited about one goal scored yesterday.
Yeah, I lost my mind for this one, and let's dive straight into the sporting action. Starting off with the Premier League now, Roberto Firmino's late equalizer saw Arsenal's lead at the top of the Premier League cut to just 6 points after an incident-packed encounter with Liverpool at Anfield. Now, the Gunners raced into a 2-0 lead with goals from Martinelli and Jesus, who, before Salah, pulled one back before half-time. Now, the Egyptian missed a penalty before Firmino netted the leveller with 3 minutes left. Now, on top of this, Man City are now just 6 points off the top after a 4-1 win over Southampton, in which Erling Haaland scored twice. Now, Frank Lampard's second stint in charge of Chelsea got off to a losing start away to Wolves, while Spurs edged Brighton 2-1. Well, from our Premier League action, let's head over to the rugby action. And unfortunately for the South African Challenge, in their inaugural season of the playing in the European competition, it has come to an end on Saturday when the Sharks, the Stormers and the Lions all lost in the quarterfinals of their respective series. Now, the two coastal sides came up short in the Champions Cup, with Stade Toulousian running out 54-20 winners against the Sharks. And then the other results saw the Stormers being beaten 42-17 by clinical Exeter Chiefs side in England. Now, in the last match of the day, the Glasgow Warriors had to work hard for their 31-21 challenge, and it was a cup quarter-final victory over the Lions, which took place in Scotland. Well, from our rugby action, we head over to cricket news. Now, Rahul Tripathi's who scored 74 not out, and Captain Aidan Markram's 37 not out led the Sunrisers Hyderabad to a comfortable 8-wicket victory with 3 overs to spare against the Punjab Kings. Now, SRH were chasing 144 for victory after 99 not out from Shikhar Dhawan, who propelled the Kings to 143 runs for 9 wickets. Now, Markram and Tripathi shared in 100 runs, and that was a stand to see their team over the line. But elsewhere, Rinku Singh hit 5 sixes of the last 5 balls to lead Kolkata Knight Riders to a thrilling 3-wicket win over Gujarat Titans. Now, chasing 205 and needing 29 from the last over, Rinku produced a brutal onslaught on bowler Yash Dayal. Now, lastly, in our fighting action, UFC was a hit this weekend. Israel Adesanya reclaimed his middleweight title from longtime bitter rival Alex Pereira with a spectacular knockout at UFC 287 in Miami. Now, with his back against the cage in round 2, Adesanya, 33 years old, unleashed 2 crushing right hands to send Pereira 35 to the canvas. Now, the victory avenges 3 previous defeats for Adesanya against Pereira. Now, he lost twice in kickboxing in 2016 and 2017, and at UFC 281 in November. Well, that's a roundup of all the sporting action. Back at you with the latest when it comes to the roads and what's happening with traffic. Here's the G-Man.
All I'm saying is Israel said he would fight Drickus in Cape Town. That's all I'm saying, okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Sporting aside, let's get into the traffic. Hopefully not as much controversy this morning. We start in KZN in Ashburton, to be exact. There's been an accident on the N3 eastbound. That's after the ramp from Ashburton. Please be careful there. The 2 lanes on the left side, the left lanes are now closed. Please approach carefully. They're moving up north in Pretoria. There is still a multi-truck accident on the N4 route between Simon Vermoorten and Solomon Mhlangu Drive. There are also live high-voltage electrical wires on the road. Please, we reported on this earlier. The road has been closed. Please use an alternative route and just stay safe out there. And if you can, share any updates with us on the area. Do that via our WhatsApp line. But that's where we leave our traffic. Let's get into the weather. Now, if you've been feeling despondent about climate change, use this story as an anchor. Excuse the pun. This morning, we've got a wonderful and very encouraging item of environmental news. The Ocean Cleanup, the only organization, amazingly enough, currently tackling the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, or the GPGP, has just reached a milestone of 200,000 kilograms of plastic removed from the ocean. As mind-boggling as it is the truth, and it is barely a fraction of what's out there. So the Dutch non-profit organization completed the test run on its new system, the 002B, which can capture multiple tons of garbage in one sequence with its incredibly large booms. The GPGP, which is twice the size of Texas, is not as much an island as it is an area where major currents all converge, likewise the winds, and they brought together trillions of pieces of plastic. So Bojan Slat, the CEO and founder of the Ocean Cleanup, believes he can clean the whole patch in just a decade by using the data of the currents and the winds. Data is key. Slat's work in the GPGP will go down as undoubtedly one of his greatest accomplishments, and I think one of the greatest accomplishments of the 21st century. More power to that young man. So thank you so much for the positive energy this morning. Let's add to that with some of your beautiful sunrise views. And a big thank you to Emil Jones in Sunninghill, who sent in a view, or Neil, who sent in a view from the roads, getting up nice and early. Look at that sun blazing through the clouds. Going to be a beautiful day. Thank you, Emil. Then Nagendra in Mshlanga, one of my favorite parts of the world, showcasing an outstanding sunrise. Look at that contrast, how the sun reflects over the ocean. Magical stuff there. Beautiful composition. Then Val in Amamsam Toti. Oh, see, this is why we get the best pics from that coastline, because the sun rises over the ocean. Look at that beam of light coming through the fluffy clouds. I imagine there was a nice calming breeze as well. Then Vilna sent in a beautiful perspective, out and about, enjoying the day off, clearly really savoring the day off in the surf. Beautiful moment. Thank you. We love it. Vilna, have the most, well, you're already having an amazing day. Clearly, keep it on that trend and keep sending us your pics. Please send your morning views on 063-408-8863. All right, let's get into your family day temperatures. Starting in Polokwane, where you've got a 70% chance of thunder showers, your low 13 going up to 26. On Mbombela, 17 and 30. Pretoria ranging between 12 and 22 with a 55% chance of rain. Johannesburg, as you saw from those pictures just now, experiencing the rain, 88% chance of rain, tempering the temperatures, 9 and 20 your range for the day. Chance of rain in Mahikeng as well. 8 is your low, going up to 24 degrees. Klerksdorp, definitely expect the thunder showers. 6 your low, going up to 24 degrees. Moving to Kimberley, 3 your low, going up to 25. Bloemfontein, 1 and 23 your range. Richards Bay, expect the rain, and your temperatures ranging between 19 and 26. Pietermaritzburg, definitely an inclement day ahead. 13 your low, going up to 22 degrees. Durban, you can expect rain, and as a result, I'm sure some humidity, with temperatures squeezed between 18 and 24 degrees. Mthatha, your low, 8, going up to 23, with a 55% chance of rain. Not so the case in East London, where you're ranging between 13 and 23. Cradock, your low, 3, going up to 22 degrees. Gqeberha, 13 your low, going up to 20 degrees today. Then George, you've got a 60% chance of rain. That takes the edge off the heat. 11 your low, going up to only 18. The Mother City, chance of rain here as well. 13 your low, going up to 18 degrees. Moving inland, Worcester, your low, 5, going up to 20. Sutherland, starting to feel the change in the seasons. Undoubtedly, 0 is where you kickstart your day, going up to only 14. And then Uppington, undecided. 6 is your low, going up to 24 degrees. But as always, regardless of the weather, it must be a beautiful day. Why? Because it's family day. And I think we've added a few more family members to the Expresso family today. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, La Familia. That's what's up right now. Now, it is Monday. I know a lot of you might be feeling a little bit different off the weekend, might be feeling like you've lost your groove. You might be feeling like Stella. Well, don't worry, because the doctor is out. Face Jackson's here, and this song is titled Dr. Groove. Let's get groovy, gents. Woo!
Crazy. beauty said for itself. And every time I take a second to breathe, I put the pain in belief and dream until I'm asleep. See, there's too much beauty in the contrast, me to up and leave. So I'ma say, so I'ma play. Wait days saying, no, I can't predict. I know I can't restrict. So I know that I'll grow, but also know that I'll die. Come just turning my life, staring into the light. In the days the sun shine brightly. No one's walking around, see we all so lazy. But now me, even after a pound, see me crazy. Cause all we're hearing are sounds in our head every day. We hope you understand the meaning of the wordplay. Cause then you're really living in the moment of the day.
That's what happens when you jaw this hard. That's what's up. Face coming at you. And don't worry, Mzansi, we got one more in the building. And hopefully they can rise up for more. Yes! Woo!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yo, Mzansi, absolutely loving the fact that you joining us. We get to serve you. And of course, with it being family day, it's nothing but a feel-good kind of day, right?
I got to say, Face Jackson are just insane.
I know.
They're actually one of the most talented group of guys that we've had on this show ever. They're just so good and so amazing, and I think they're awake now.
I hope so.
I think the whole country is awake now. We love it. And we love the story. In fact, this one really got our attention, and we want you to turn your attention right now to culture cycles. I'm going to call them a movement that started to promote a culture of cycling in the township of Khayelitsha, particularly among young women.
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. Now, we met up with the bike shop's founder, Sindile Mavundla, to find out a bit more about this absolutely incredible initiative.
The story around creating a cycling movement in Khayelitsha really started in 2018. We saw how people actually struggled, not only just to move themselves to one point to another, but also getting access to quality affordable bicycles. And our mission has been, how do we change that? How do we get more people on bicycles? And one of the biggest hurdles was to get people on bikes safely, and majority of our people do not know how to ride a bicycle. And we had to change that by introducing a learn to cycle class where people could actually learn how to ride a bicycle, learn how to maintain their own bike, but also build a community around that. Hi, my name is Sindile Mavundla. I'm the co-founder of Culture Cycles. So how it all started for me, we had to fundraise. During the time of COVID, we had this idea of putting together a bike shop. When COVID hit, we then thought, you know what, the key people that need bicycles right now is essential workers. How do we get them on bicycles? So we started up with 20 bicycles, from 20 bicycles to 1,000 bikes. From 1,000 bikes, we then thought, yes, you're getting 1,000 people on bicycles, but they need a place to fix these bikes. And a bicycle, that's where a bicycle shop like Culture Cycles, that's where it started. One of our programs is to shine the spotlight on women in bicycles. And I think it's quite key that we do so because women have not been given the opportunity. And also even in our community right now, we still frowned upon to see a woman on a bicycle. And it was also a key thing for us when we started the Learn to Cycle classes. Only people that came to our Learn to Cycle classes were women. So that actually said something to us. That said women are willing to push the envelope. And women actually want a sustainable mode of transport that can actually give them freedom. So we then created this program which is called Cycling for All, which is a non-profit that is based under Culture Cycles with Rokokoba Cycling.
Cycling keeps me busy. It takes me away from the things that happened in this community, like in our community, and it helps me to forget about other things and just focus on cycling and school.
Cycling plays a huge role in my life. It helps me to escape many things in life, and I believe cycling could actually take me places and make me grow emotionally and physically.
So guys, our ride will be going to Snitswinkel side, so I want everyone to keep left and at least 1 meter distance between each other, and each sides must be done properly to inform the behind you so that we avoid any crashes, guys. We can do this, let's do it. Yay.
So through our Culture Cycling for All program, we're trying to take the girls off the street and to bring them to a cycling community where we teach them about discipline and respect for one another and hopefully bring up future leaders for our communities. What cycling has taught me, it has taught me life because conditions changes in cycling and as in life it also changes. So it actually has taught me to adapt with the conditions, not to be the same person again. And from there, you learn and you grow from there.
My role as a coach, it's quite a difficult one because I train these ladies during the week. I'm trying to train their fitness and their mental ability to try and think for themselves, not just think for what they have to do, but be able to think for their friends around them, their teammates, on how they can not just help themselves alone, but help others as well.
Lendawo Culture Cycles ibalulekile kum because if ibingekho ngengeyiyo le cyclist ndiyiyo and ndifuna uzibona ndisiya phambili kanye ngale ndawo and ndifuna ubonisa amanye amantombazana uba thina sine-potential yoba zezinye i-pros kwi-future.
Culture Cycles, I believe, is a place of home, and it has made us grow as young ladies. And the challenges that we face, we escape whenever we come here. So that's why I believe and I know that Culture Cycles is home.
Absolutely inspirational.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there. I mean, I rode with Nicholas Dlamini when he was part of a development group coming through. This is the guys run in the Tour de France as a result. So we can see where these kinds of initiatives can lead. And girls can cycle just as well as the boys.
Yeah.
Proven. That's what Culture Cycles is proving every day, and we are here for that.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Now, for you, Mzansi, if you want to get involved, you want to support this movement, and I definitely encourage you to do so, visit www.culturecycles.co.za, or you can head over to their socials. That's Culture Cycles, and that's the handle that you can use. And right now, speaking of cycling, I think we should just carry on with this theme. Let's cycle. Let's keep this flow, keep this momentum going, because I'm absolutely inspired by this, especially after you mentioned that, like seeing that inception, seeing that seed and where it's going. Man, I'm absolutely here for it.
What we need, though, are some mentors to possibly step into the
that
space
would help.
and help us activate. And right now, pro cyclist Ashley Muman-Pasio, who, yes, we know very well on the show, she has teamed up with Culture Cycles in Khayelitsha to improve and unlock a 100% in the lives of teens and girls, in particular in that area. And that team recently completed their first Cape Town cycle tour, baby.
Yes.
A massive achievement, considering some of the team members were unable to even get on a bike a year ago. And we've got Ashley on the line right now. I'm sure beaming with pride and looking absolutely amazing out of spandex just once in a while. Ashley, so good to see you. How are you?
Hi guys, so good to be here this morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, was it a good weekend? Did you get some family time, or was it all just about training for you?
Well, I'm in Europe. I'm preparing for a really big, important block of racing, the Ardennes Classic. So I'm actually up at altitude with my husband. But yeah, we had some nice time. My dog, my husband and I, but unfortunately not the extended.
So you're literally in a cabin in the woods by the look of it. I can see that. Okay,
I know it's a pivotal time of the year for you as well, and long may your successes continue. And I mean, we could spend a few days talking about what you've racked up over the last couple of years, but it looks like you are laying the seeds for a future that is even more exciting. We've just learned all about the Culture Cycle movement, and it's a safe space that they're providing for teen girls in Khayelitsha, which I think at its heart is amazing. But why was it important for you to form this partnership? What brought you in?
Well, you know, I got into cycling a bit later in life. I only discovered my talent at university. And at the time, I was quite an insecure person. I didn't really have a lot of self-confidence. And my husband, he noticed my talent, and he really encouraged me to pursue cycling. And while I was cycling and growing in strength, I grew in confidence, and I became a stronger woman. You know, someone who believed in my dreams, in my ambitions, and now I am the person that I am today, pursuing a professional career in Europe and making my dreams come true. And I wanted to pay it forward, and it was first in the COVID pandemic year that I realized the potential of the virtual world of Zwift to be able to increase the female participation in terms of cycling. It's a safe space for women to come together. And so I started a community called Rockacorba Collective on Zwift. But I always had the ambition throughout my career to pay it forward to Africa. And so last year I got in touch with Culture Cycles. Sins from Culture Cycles tagged me in a tweet, and I saw him empowering 2 young girls on the bike, and I thought, this is the guy. I need to get in touch. And so for a year, we've been in contact, trying to find a way of empowering these 30 girls that he had identified. And we want to create an indoor and learning center in Culture Cycles so that they can also ride on Zwift, so that I can ride with them, you know, even from Spain, and mentor them on a weekly or daily basis, and give them support through a computer center and tutors. But we haven't quite got there yet. We're still looking for partnership to help us bring it to life. But the opportunity presented to get these girls on bikes for the Cape Town Cycle Tour to take that first step. And so we started a GoFundMe. And then the momentum just started, coming in, and we got Dimension Data on board to help us. They adopted us as their charity at a Pro-Am event, a golfing Pro-Am event that they had, and they helped us really cross the line. And so we got those girls on bikes thanks to Avalanche, thanks to the great work of Culture Cycles. And I was so grateful to come back to South Africa to meet the girls in person and to ride with them. And I'm just so inspired by their strength and their resilience, and I just want to help them take the next steps in life. And yeah, let's see where we can go.
Oh, you definitely are doing that. I'm so grateful, though, that you took that talent with you and you're sharing it with the rest of our magic that we have in our country, and that's our women especially. Now, I want to talk about this training and this process that obviously went into this ride. You mentioned you linked up with them and you're able to physically ride with them on the day. What was that like? I mean, for the girls, obviously training, not physically being there with you, but still having your inspiration there, and then finally meeting on the day. And I'm sure that kind of definitely, if it wasn't feeling like a good day for them, that's obviously what got them over the line, obviously being able to share it with you. But how was the day for you? How was the tour?
Yeah, well, actually, it started off on the Thursday beforehand where we did the bike handover. So I went to Culture Cycles in Khayelitsha and I met the girls for the first time. And it was, of course, it was first, they were a bit nervous and a bit shy. But then very quickly, those barriers sort of started breaking down and they were asking the most incredible questions, and it was just so great to see how these girls were so worldly wise already, but a lot of the questions were around, safety and crashing and the challenges of the sport. So I obviously had to share my experiences with them to help to give them, a bit of insight and courage, to take the next steps. And then when the new bikes came out and they had their name tags on them. It was incredible how meaningful that was, that the girls were receiving a bike with their name on it and a brand new kit and a new helmet to call their very own. And just to see how their confidence from that moment and then the next days leading up to the Cape Town Cycle Tour, we did a couple of events. We had a morning breakfast on Saturday and we invited some people to come ride with us and they went to the expo and how their confidence grew. And then on the day, each one of them, they got the best out of themselves. And, there were a couple that had hardly been on the bike and there were some doubts whether they'd even be able to make it to the finish line, but every single one of them did. And yeah, some of them, faster than others, but each achieved their personal ambition for the day. And that was just incredible. I did my best. I first did the first round as a race, and then I rushed off to the start line to join them. And I spent a little bit of time with each one of them, encouraging them, just to get the best out of themselves on the day. And it was just a wonderful experience.
And then she raced back and did it a third time, and then did it a fourth time. Ashley, you are amazing. And I know that they say you learn more when you're teaching than you ever do as a student. I know you are probably in the most critical phase of your career and doing amazing things. So I hope this gave you that little bit of added confidence and that emotional content to drive you through your next barrier and help you to continue to unlock your 100%, which you seem to be doing with every event. We love you for pouring this love back into your sport and into your country. Now go and dominate in Europe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
It really is such an incredible conversation, seeing what she's doing for the sport, seeing how women are growing in sport in general.
But I've seen this play out. I'm so old now that I get to see these patterns and these kind of threads tie back together, and I've done it. I've ridden with a Nicolas Dlamini when he was in exactly the same kind of project. And he rode in the Tour de France last year. That's where these young ladies are headed. Absolutely amazing. So if you can support, we will have all of those details up. Do whatever you can. And most importantly, if you want to unlock your 100%, keep an eye out on Crush's social media pages for more information on the Unlock Your 100% with Crush TV show that you can catch Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2, Sundays at 8 p.m. also on S2. If you haven't had enough of him already this morning, let's get another little sneak peek of what's coming up this week.
Unlock your 100% this Wednesday evening at 7:30 as we meet a real estate agent who dreams of becoming a commercial diver.
Let's get you out of the suit and into a different kind of suit.
Voila. Pull and go down. Excellent. You are entering water. Woo! I'm on top of the world. Fantastic. I want to do that again.
Cassidy Marriott's journey as he dives deep and takes his first breath underwater. Unlock your 100% Wednesday evenings at 7:30 on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. No, we're not going to talk about rugby as we did on Friday because we've got nothing to talk about. We're going to talk about Premier League football because there is plenty to chat about after an incredible weekend that was capped off by Arsenal's famous draw against Liverpool at Anfield.
Famous?
Famous draw, because
You
these
think so?
draws are famous at this stage of a season. There were wins, big wins for Man City, and they are definitely keeping the pressure on the Gunners at the top of the table. Man United, Spurs also keeping themselves in the hunt for Europe. And here to take us through all of the action is Good Hope FM sports anchor, Lorenzo Daris, with his impartial hat on today.
Yeah, and a bit of an elbow.
And a bit of an elbow. Yeah, it was a tough one. Thank you for changing tack and not talking about rugby this morning. What a weekend of football.
Yeah.
What a season of football. What a narrative playing out right now. And it got spiced up on a different level. You don't often see Mo Salah missing a penalty.
Yeah, that was a little bit suspect, if I can put it like that. I was like, guys, what's going on
Don't
here?
start with your conspiracy theories. And then Firmino, the man who seems to score every time, he steps out into the park at Anfield, did what he did. But boy, does this not spice up the run-in.
It does, completely. I think there's about, like 8 games left, and Arsenal still needs to take on Manchester City. I think all of us are waiting for that. If I look at everyone's comments throughout social media over the weekend, the friends of Liverpool in South Africa were there. We had so many friends
I bet
of
there were
Liverpool.
some sappers in that stadium.
Lots. There were quite a few
And what
there
a
as well.
vibe.
I think I might have seen the South African flag there.
This does beg the question, though. Do you see this as a loss or a win in terms of getting the point? Because a loss here could have decided the season. Let's be honest. Getting that single point in the context of where they are, it's still in their hands to a certain extent.
Yeah, so the thing is, there's talks of, did they lose 2 points or gain a point?
Exactly.
They gained a point.
For
How
sure.
crucial is this point going to be? We'll have to wait and see until the match between the top 2 teams. And then we'll know how crucial this was, though. But I think that whoever goes to Anfield expecting to win, you're delusional, if I can put it like that. If you listen to Gary Neville and all of the other pundits out there,
and it's
there's
great that
something
Anfield's
special.
got that austere again. It's great that it's got, because it hasn't had that for a few seasons now. And
But yeah, it's one of those
in
things.
that way, I love the way we look at that. That being said, it felt like the 3 points that Man City won were 9 points.
Yeah,
Okay, and that could have been Erling Haaland, because he just feels like 3 points for every match or a
He's
hat-trick
just like,
in every
okay,
game.
let me give it to you. Let me just
and so money well spent.
Yeah.
So much in every match.
And that's the thing about the English Premier League when it comes to the last 10 games. It's the team that's at the bottom that is struggling.
Potentially the most dangerous.
Will come out and actually beat you.
Perfectly. So kudos to them. A team that's certainly grown into itself, Man United.
Yeah.
A lot of that was hinged on Rashford's return to form. He obviously wasn't there. We saw McTominay, who had unbelievable form to win for Man United.
You know, we find ourselves in other cups as well at the moment, so we need to have...
Position for our new Chelsea manager. Before we get to that, of course, Spurs and Brighton have created a whole different conundrum and conversation around the chase for Europe. The fact that we're even talking about Brighton.
Yeah, the dynamic of Brighton in the
no
conversation,
disrespect.
never thought of this. Never. If I came to you at the beginning of the season, Graham, and I said, Brighton's going to be in your top 6 teams, you'd have probably laughed at me.
But if you had said Brighton would knock Spurs out of European spot, I probably would have said, okay, most likely it's going to happen. Yeah. But a very valuable win for Spurs with a few VAR close calls. And then we've got to try and wrap our head around, first of all, why Lampard is back at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Not the best opening account up against Wolves.
Yeah.
What do you make of the decision to bring him back? Is it because there's zero pressure?
No pressure at all. I don't think there's no pressure. With Todd Bowley as differently, I think I've never looked at it like that. But if you bring a crowd favourite, someone that's the leading goal scorer as well, you know, he's got that heart and soul of Chelsea.
Pulling an Ole Gunnar, man. Pulling an Ole Gunnar.
They're pulling it on you. They're pulling on those heartstrings.
Don't watch the mouth, watch the hands, my friends. We love it, buddy. What an incredible weekend. And it's only going to get more spicy in the run-up. In fact, all this talk of spice, I'm getting quite hungry. I think I need a bit of a meal. I've amassed an appetite and maybe something to refresh me, please.
Yes, man, you came to the right place. Yeah, we interrupt the show to take time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the soft island life. Yeah. Yeah, of course, it's time to head to the island. It's time to indulge and do something that we love to do. Now, in the smooth, laid-back island lifestyle, where time slows down and worries drift away, with the ocean breeze. Yes, we're talking about that feeling, that oh so cool feeling. We're talking about that zero feeling. And Tropica Zero is here, and it's the new Tropica Island in a bottle, but with zero added sugar. How cool is that? Now it comes in 3 food flavors: orange, pineapple, and mango peach. So today we're going to be doing a taste test to just find out if we can find a favorite, and what we think of these flavors.
I kind of go into this thinking I have a favorite, and then my mind is changed.
So should we do this together? Should we start off with the first one?
So
I think we've got the orange over here.
And that's a good baseline. I think most people will kind of judge on the orange.
Yeah, it's kind of
like you judge a pizza on a margarita. Okay,
that is
principle.
So true, definitely. All right, crack it open. Let's get to the islands and let's get involved.
I like the pinky, the raised pinky.
Yeah, it's big classy on the island. That's smooth. You know what I was expecting, like
not to be sweet.
like a thickness, like something you really have to work through to digest, but it is smooth. And for lack of a better term, man, it just slides down.
How many
nicely.
O's though? Like 4 O's. Smooth.
Ew, like 5 there at least. What do you think?
I love it, and it's not like so full on in your face.
Yeah,
really refreshing.
I like
beautiful
the balance.
stuff. Okay,
I really
orange.
love it.
Wow, nice opening account.
Orange was goodies. Let's go to the next one over here.
This one, pineapple. And I have always thought this would be my favorite because I absolutely love pineapple.
All right, well.
Oh, the smell of it. Can we make these into ice lollies right now? Have them for the whole of summer.
Now we're talking, man. I just want to talk about the fact that although we are tasting this, what blows my mind away right now is the fact that they haven't added any sugar into this, man. It still tastes so good. I still think that I can't figure out a favorite, to be very honest with you. And I mean, with all the options that we have right now, I don't know.
No, I think pineapple.
I'm struggling.
But I have a feeling as soon as I taste the peach and orange, or mango and peach, I might change. I love how I'm like taking in the smell like a...
This is an impossible game, actually.
Yeah.
I'm done playing this.
It's a game.
There's no way you can decide. Yeah, it has to go. It has to be a tie. I don't know about you. I can't. That
maybe the perfect one on a Monday.
Oh yeah, that's what it took on. So
then
Monday, Wednesday,
Love you, man.
Clearly we are baffled. We don't know what the answer is, but Yumzans, you can experience that zero flavor with the smooth taste of the new Tropica Island in a bottle. And all 3 flavors are available in stores, so look out for their black label and black cap and enjoy all the island loving. And help us decide.
I think pineapple. Nah.
I don't know. Maybe orange? I don't know.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. That's behind the scenes, behind the scenes. But now we are front and center stage with Face Jackson. They have been amazing. You guys are phenomenal. You really are phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
No, you. No,
we are.
You know you are. Well done. See, that's the drummer. That's why the drummer's never allowed to talk, okay? Ray, we love you guys. I've got to ask, though, within this dynamic, because you all seem like nice guys, is there a high maintenance one here? Who's the drama queen in the group?
To be honest, I use the most hair products, so probably me. But I don't know, we're all really easygoing people. In fact, it's one of the greatest things about being in this band is playing the music is seamless and then also hanging out, which is so important when you're doing this kind of a job here.
And especially with this genre of music. But you guys have got, you kind of, when I talk about being in the pocket, you guys are there.
Yeah,
So it's not like they're very little lazy notes, tones, anything about what you guys do. That being said, who's the most likely to do something unexpected at a gig?
Sure.
In mid-performance.
Any one of us. I would say Rick does some crazy stuff, man. I mean, front man syndrome.
You've got crazy. Ricky, come here, crazy man. Okay, you've been out of your cage for too long. Please go back in your cage, back in. Never. I'm sorry to do that. I'm sorry we let the drummer out and let him speak. That was just silly. I'm the least musical person on the planet. Okay, but you have mobilized within me this desire to learn how to play the greatest instrument on earth.
The tambo.
No, I was going to say the rice shaker, but because we don't have a rice shaker, can you teach me how to play the tambo?
So you use the hand that you write with.
Okay.
Yeah. And you got to make sure that you find a broken tambourine with missing
and it has to be missing too, otherwise you don't get the right
And
sound.
what you do really need is a drummer to help you stay on time.
Like I was saying, the most valuable member of any group, the drummer.
He's the heartbeat of the band.
Okay,
and then it really does help to have the rest of the band members to complement, otherwise it's just
looks weird,
too much rhythm, and you need melody and all of that.
Need a bit of bass?
You do.
You ready?
Okay, I don't know. Go for it.
Yeah, help him out there.
Yeah. Well, he's got it. I feel like he's got it in him.
Okay. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. Hey, you're natural, great.
With great power comes great responsibility. I'll give this back to you next week.
I feel like you lied to me, Graham. You're quite a natural. Man.
Oh, man, I'm just surrounded by greatness. Maybe I can be the face of Jackson. I absolutely love it. These boys are going nowhere. We've got one more performance coming your way. Stick around. Give us something dramatic there. Whoa, let's get back in the kitchen.
Oh, man, the man's just making the crack into the crew there. I like that G well played, but now let's head back into the kitchen now with all the hot cross buns that I'm sure are left over from this weekend. Let's recreate our favorite dish. Oh, yes, of course. It is still Easter officially, so it's Easter La Vista, baby. And that's happening right now in the kitchen this morning with Game Stores. And the question is, are you ready for a sensational spin on a classic? Yes. Now, this hot cross bun bread and butter mellow pudding is a great way to use any leftover Easter treats from this past weekend. Now, here to show us how it all gets done is the one and only Jenny Margaret.
Hello, darling. Are you going to flex those muscles?
For you, I will do anything. For you, I can do
eggs.
All right. So put me to work. Let's get into this. I see we've got a lot going on here, and it's going to turn out to be delicious, to say the least. So how are we doing this?
We're going to take these, oh my goodness, this is like a chocolate feast.
I know.
So, baby, you're going to take the milk, and you're going to beat that with the sugar and the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the lovely vanilla.
All right.
And then what I'm going to do is just take these hot cross buns, and I'm going to jam them.
You're going to jam them first,
Jam
all right?
up and jelly
I'm paying
ties.
attention
Look
because
at
there's
this.
a couple steps to this recipe, but it's all a lot of fun. It's pretty simple, and all you got to do is pay attention right now. So I'm getting my whisk on. What essentially, Jenny, is this going to be making, this little batch that I've prepared up here?
It's almost like a bread and butter pudding,
Okay.
sort of the Easter version, the decadent version.
Nice.
And this is what makes it like really, I mean, look at this.
Out of this. Oh, are you putting two on?
Yes, why not? I'm a greedy girl.
Wow.
Hey,
Hot
how's
cross
that?
buns,
Yes.
just been jammed up, loaded with 2 Easter eggs on top of that, some mellows. And it's not done yet. We're just getting started. Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's a like, look, there's never really any hot cross buns left over in my
That's
household.
true.
But you can go and buy them.
I think, like we mentioned earlier, even with the leftover chicken recipe, it's like, I know Easter brings a lot of hungry bellies, so there's sometimes not leftovers, but that's fine because you can just head to the shop and still make these incredible recipes, right?
Still absolutely look here.
Yeah.
The shop is full of these gorgeous little babies, trust me.
Okay, so how's it looking on your side? You're essentially going to take that entire section and jam them all up.
I'm going to jam it up beautifully. You can use any jam, actually. Chocolate and raspberry, chocolate and strawberry.
Oh,
Those
so you
are
kind of
flavours
get...
berries and chocolate. Beautiful.
Yeah, how can you go wrong with that as an age-old classic? And this is where you can obviously get creative, like you mentioned, to have whatever kind of jam you wish, whatever you think is going to pair well with your chocolate mellows.
That's for you for later. Stop
Oh,
looking at it with those greedy eyes. Right,
Of course. Now, while we are busy with this, Mzansi, I want to talk to you about our hot cross bun Easter treat. Now, this decadent dessert, it can be served with ice cream, cream, custard, and fresh berries on top of that. So you've got options just like you got with the jam, and it's something that you're going to absolutely love. So while we tuck into this, it looks like something interesting is going down. Jenny, what are you doing? Bathing it in the good stuff.
It's going to bathe in it, and if you really want to be like a really greedy child and you don't want marshmallow, you could take this gorgeous hazelnut and like put a half of one in each one.
Half a slab on each one. No one's complaining about that. All right, so this looks great. I'm assuming this goes into the oven, right?
Straight into the oven, and it's going to bake. As soon as all of this is gorgeous, I normally like to let it just sit for a little bit so that it sucks up all that lovely eggy custard. And then bake, and look at that, darling.
Bake and enjoy. Yes. Jenny, always coming through with the good stuff. Thank you once again for sharing some of your treats and your burns with us.
My burns.
And of course, for you, Mzansi, if you want to get your hands, and let me tell you, you do want to get your hands on this, and this is a mouth-watering recipe, you want to visit expressoshow.com. But it's time to say Easter la vista, baby. And that's all to our high prices this season, and that's with the Game Store. Now, they're giving you a chance to win 1,000 Rand in Game Store shopping vouchers. And here's the situation. Now, you're late for an Easter party. You only have 30 seconds to grab all the treats from Game Stores. Which Easter sweets will you fill your trolley or basket with? That is the question. Now, don't forget to include the hashtag GodGame in your answer. And your T's and C's apply and can be found on expressoshow.com. And don't forget the competition closes today. Yes, that's today, Family Day, Monday the 10th of April, 2023 at midnight. So what are you waiting for? Get entering now and you can stand a chance, your last chance to be a winner. Also, get these buns. Nice stuff.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Are you a rising star in the kitchen, ready to bake it till you make it? Then enter the new season of Tastemaster SA, brought to you by tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder on SABC2, where you could win 50,000 Rands worth of prizes and become a baking legend. Visit thetastemaster.co.za, share a video about yourself and why you love baking with Royal Baking Powder. Entries close on 23 April, T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. On your screens one last time with this unbelievably talented four-piece outfit that is Face Jackson. We haven't figured out who the face is yet. They all are. They're absolutely amazing. And of course, we have got an opportunity now to get a little treat with a song that hasn't been released yet. This is off their upcoming album, and it's going to be a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, one last time to really feel the long weekend. It's Face Jackson with Projected Soul. Enjoy, boys.
To take it away, boys. Is that all right?
Everyone's awesome.
Better food choices never tasted so good, nor were they ever so easy as the range of healthy living options. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.